which is doesn't give their name. It's
But
just
it doesn't give me
it's
the
the
name.
ad. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just pop it when we get it then.
So, yeah, I don't have any way to put the player's name up, but whatever. Turn the audio off. It seems like it's still speaking over here.
I just have Brandon check to see that we're on because he said I don't have a credit card to get past the paywall.
Right. My wallet's down in the
Yeah.
truck too, so. One thing I will say about this camera is that it's because there's no light over there.
It picks it
It
up.
picks up dark pretty well.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, because our scoreboard is in the dark.
Yeah. But yet the letters aren't blown out, or the numbers. Aren't blown out. So it's good.
Okay, so you about 5 minutes, you say?
It's about a 5-minute pre-roll, yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to
Because
start it?
yeah, let's go ahead and start it at 10. We can get through stuff, and then we've got other stuff we can fill with. So.
That only gives us 5 minutes too much.
Yeah. Well, depending on when they actually kick off, and
Right,
yeah,
right, right.
because
They have been adding that extra 3 minutes at the end.
yeah, because I mean I don't know where the national anthem's going to come in, and yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? Pretty good travel for Shelley, to be honest. That's a pretty packed stand.
Yeah, no, East Idaho travels well. Of course, in that conference has won the last. They've won 19, 20, 21. Yeah, they've won the last two state titles. Hillcrest in 19 and Skyline the last two.
Yeah.
Bishop Kelly was in 18.
So it's pretty much Skyline, Bishop Kelly, and
Yeah, he's in that crowd. So, yep. Not yet.
not yet, no.
I've got from the rest of our Idaho sports crew, they'll be sending stuff to us, so
Yeah.
I'll follow up with that. Yeah, we'll try to
Yep.
keep you
And then
updated.
of course we post the score on our scoreboard throughout.
Yeah, of course
Yep.
they're going to be an hour later kicking off too. So
Right.
yeah, that one's. Yeah, I think Skyview could get if Skyview can get out early on them, they can make a game out of it. But if they get pounded early by Sandpoint, well, they can come back, but because they're a passing team, Sandpoint's a running team. But I would too.
Snowy
Oh, speaking of
Philadelphia.
that, I better get.
Oh, you should probably stop. Oh yeah.
We may
It may get dark here.
have need to watch the trouble again. Nope.
Nope, not bad. I don't do it, but
Darn, can't start 34 yet.
well, we still got 15 minutes to go. And people are definitely Oh no, there's quite a few coming in here.
Yeah, they're already pulled up to the other side. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, there should be another whole row of course. It'd be nice if the area just paved and striped.
It would also be nice if people like random park.
Well, because if you don't have stripes, in this county you just pull up and park
Right.
wherever the
But
heck you want.
there's some spots over there they can park.
Yeah. You had snow? We haven't had anything close to it yet. In fact, We really just had our first killing frost this last week.
I think I blew out my printer.
Yeah, I got people still haven't blown those out yet. But
Blew mine out Tuesday.
seems like our whole weather has shifted about 30 days.
It feels like that, right?
Because this feels like the weather we should have had the end of September, 1st of October.
Yeah.
And of course, I don't have that graphic special that you have. Okay, looks like we are. Yeah, I'm not sure that this will. That looks good.
Cool.
Okay.
We're good. The audio technical. Like, let's do it. Shelley's coming on now with me. I've been waiting for them to come on.
Yeah. I'll.
So is this considered a play-in matchup rather than
No,
the first
no,
round?
this is the first round.
Right, because there is no play-ins with high school.
Uh, no, not really play-ins now. There's several divisions where they have a first round and 4 teams are drawn a bye.
Right.
Like 5A, the 3, most of them. But this one, all 16 teams play straight through. There are no byes. I think it's the only division that is that way.
Which I always like better. I always feel like the teams that have to play an extra game, it's just such a big disadvantage.
Well, but it seems like if there's upsets in the quarterfinals, it's those teams get through the byes in the quarterfinals. So
You're not wrong. You're
yeah.
not wrong. Yeah, yeah.
The only difference is if you lose, have some injuries or something that, like for example, if Valley View lost their guy
Right.
in this round, that would be.
Okay. Playing the pre-roll. Waiting your turn. And I'll know right away if we got audio levels clear.
I can't believe we have to make this commercial.
It's ridiculous.
You'll think it's ridiculous too. Listen to this.
This commercial is about, well, it's about parents being rude at high school athletic events.
Ridiculous, right?
It gets worse. Studies show more than 75% of new high school officials are quitting because of bad adult behavior.
So now there's a shortage of refs here in Idaho, in almost all sports.
No officials means no more games.
Is that what you want for us?
Come on, parents.
It's time to grow up.
Cheer for your team.
Be proud of your children.
But stop being so ridiculous.
And don't make us run another commercial.
Because we will.
This message presented by the Idaho High School Activities Association and the Idaho Athletic Administrators Association, reminding you to always practice good sportsmanship.
Welcome to the Ryerson Family Backyard Games. There will be obstacles to face and challenges to overcome. Are you ready?
The hard path isn't always easy. It takes courage and determination to do hard things. Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
We're Valley-wide cooperative. For 100 years, we've been your first choice for residential and commercial propane, fuels, oils, and lubricants. We service HVAC, install water heaters, propane tanks, and accessories. And yes, we'll even deliver right where you need it. Because for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Former regional champ and back in training.
That's commitment.
Ow.
Oh, tough start. This is not as easy as it used to be, folks.
And she's off. Obviously pushing through some pain.
Every muscle is begging her to stop. How's she doing this?
I'm not even sure she knows.
Look at her go. And stop.
Come on.
And go again.
It's literally the home stretch. Whoa.
She made it. Feel the elation.
What fuels that kind of fire?
I am Kevin, and I'm from Idaho Falls. It's important for the disabled to be vaccinated because of COVID. I chose to be vaccinated because I didn't want to be sick or in the hospital. Getting the vaccination, my experience was painless and worth it. It was a very wise choice.
Look at that. The unmistakable swagger of someone fully covered with health insurance through Your Health Idaho for as low as $0 a month. If you're as speechless as I am right now, say nothing. Health yeah! Enroll by December 15th and you could qualify for quality health insurance starting at $0 a month.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Tony Villanueva Field at Husky Stadium in Emmett, Idaho for tonight's first round game of the 4A Idaho High School Football Championships. Tonight's game pits the Shelley Russets against the homestanding Emmett Huskies. Del Gray and Chandler Gray here in Emmett on a beautiful fall evening that should be perfect for playoff football and for the first football game here this season at Emmett High. The sun has actually already set in the Oregon foothills, and we're just about ready to go. Weather forecast is crisp and clear, but not overly cold and not windy. So the grass surface here at Villanueva Field should be very, very fast and ready to go. This is an IdahoSports.com GameStream production of the Department of Health and Welfare and the Idaho Transportation Department. Also brought to you by Wide Cooperative and your local Toyota dealers. And local sponsors for tonight's ball game include Mountain West Building Supply, Hannigan Auto Sales, and Gem Supply Building Co-op in Emmett, and River Valley Dental, Adrenaline Performance, Matthews Plumbing, Brulim's, and Lava Hot Spring gets underway. The two teams are down there for the coin toss to decide who's going to get the first opportunity. The Russets arrive in Emmett tonight with a 4-5 record and a number 10 ranking in the Max Preps scoring system. Emmett is 7-2 and is ranked number 6 in Max Preps. The winner of tonight's game will face the winner, includes both of these teams paired up here tonight. Both Shelley and Emmett have some motivation left from their appearances a year ago. For the Shelley Russets, they entered the season with high expectations after reaching the state quarterfinals last year and losing a nail-biter at Sandpoint to the eventual runner-up Bulldogs. Winning streak, including a 35-28 win over previously undefeated Blackfoot. A loss to Hillcrest set up a high country championship game last week that saw Shelley coming up just short in a 21-14 decision to Skyline. With a three-way tie for the second automatic seat from District 6, Blackfoot prevailed on a point. Idaho Conference opponent Nampa when the Bulldogs avenged a home loss in the regular season to Emmett by ousting them in the playoffs 37-29 on this field. And we're ready to go as the Huskies have deferred and will be kicking off, and the Russets will take it at the 5th by Brian Walker, and that return was by number that was 29, Logan out. No, excuse me, 29. I got flipped the other head. Logan Smith.
There you go.
So
the
Smith,
defensive back,
a D back, but not a starter. And Smith, a junior, with a great return to set the Russets up, run a spread offense and a balance of rush and pass. On the first handoff, it's a good 6-yard pickup. Diving off the left tackle is number 5. That's Caden Kidman, who picks up the yardage, and it's second down and a short 5 coming up for the Russets as on their second play of the game, they're already in Husky territory.
They like to run on first, second, and third down.
And Caden Kidman, with their second consecutive carry, gets the first down with another 5-yard pickup down to the 41-yard line. So 2 snaps and good yardage, and the Russets are pushing the Huskies defensively around a little bit. Last week, 2 weeks ago, the last time the Huskies were on this field against Valley View, Emmett gave up some rushing yards early in the ball game and then finally settled down against the Falcons and then came back for the win that gave him this home berth. Handoff inside and driving straight forward, trying to see for sure who that was carrying the ball off the bottom of the pile.
I believe that's number 1.
Was it one Riker Klinger?
Yep.
Okay, I was not expecting to see Klinger's first run right up the middle. He's got great speed and can break it outside. So a 1-yard, we'll call that a 2-yard pickup for Klinger. So 2nd and 8 inside the 40 for Shelley. They pitch it out on the wing. They've got running room and first down yardage again. This is Klinger. So after he tested the waters in between the tackles, he now takes it outside and picks up good yardage and yet another first down for the Shelley Russets.
And that's something you need to really watch in this game. The wing tee really creates a lot of opportunities and a lot of movement at the line level. You're going to see a lot of tackles and guards pulling from on both ways, and you'll even possibly see center pulls as well. It's a very mobile offense, and it makes it the edge runs even more open.
And that certainly was the factor in Valley View game 2 weeks ago that the Huskies struggled with early on particularly. Handoff up the middle to Caden Johnson. He's going to get another 5 or 6 yards. In fact, they're going to put him all the way down to the 21-yard line where that will make it 2nd down and 4. And there's been no mystery in this one so far. It's been 2 carries and first down on 3 consecutive series segments here for the Russets.
Shelley not showing us anything we didn't expect. This is a running team, bread and butter, and that's what they're going to keep doing. It's worked all season. It's not going to stop now. Handoff for number 1, Riker, right up the middle.
I think Caden Johnson, number 4, got that handoff.
Oh, you are correct.
And he's maybe a yard shy. It's a short yard, let's put it that way. So they are in the red zone, as they call that.
Third and a hair, if you will.
Yeah, it's just a deep breath right now with 9:07 to go on this opening possession for Shelley. And the quarterback, that'll be Nate Nelson, who just takes it straight forward. And they just do the old rugby scrum, and they're still going inside the 10, inside the 5. Are they going to get into the end zone? Nope. I do not believe he does. That was the quarterback, Nelson, and that was definitely a rugby scrum all the way from the 12-yard line down to, it looks like, inside the 1.
That'll set up a 1st and maybe 2 inches. It's right on the goal line. And that's what you're going to see a lot of. These big offensive linemen like to get a push, and they're just going to go right back to it, and that's going to be a Shelley touchdown.
Well, Nelson, after you get 12 yards on a quarterback sneak, you're not going to think about anything else but doing it yourself when you've only got inches to go. And so with 8:35 remaining here in the first quarter, the Shelley Russets have struck first on a 1-yard run from quarterback Nate Nelson.
Nelson not typically the runner for this team, but you see they have a lot of flexibility in that quarterback position. He likes to stay out of the pocket. He likes to move around, especially running that pitch in the wing tee. So expect him to be moving. He's got some legs.
We'll get ready to kick the extra point. Extra point is on its way, a little to the right, but it's still within the uprights, and the extra point conversion is good. And Shelley has taken the early lead in this one, 7-0 over the Emmett Huskies, and we are just over not quite 3.5 minutes into this one. So a great start for Shelley. And now the Huskies will have to see if they can counter with their offense and not fall behind in this football game. It's both of these teams play close to the vest at times, but I think the Huskies probably have had a few more plays this year where they've really opened it up and taken off. Mountain West Building Supply has everything you need for your next project. Whether you're a professional contractor or a do-it-yourselfer, you can find what you need at Mountain West. Lumber, paint, hardware, and more. Located just 2 miles west of Emmett on Highway 52. Hop to it before the snow flies. Mountain West Building Supply, 365-7580.
As you mentioned at the beginning of this game, this is the first meeting between Emmett and Shelley since 2015, where the two schools were in the 3A conference and met in the quarterfinals. That year was the year that Emmett made their glorious playoff run and ended up taking the state title, whereas then 2 years later, Shelley won the state title. So these teams have not met in the 4A level, and this is the first time. So we'll see how this lines up.
Well, the kick has not returned. It's kind of a squib tick taken at the 25. We were watching a little bit to see who is going to be back doing the kick return duties for the Huskies. Isaac Brennan has been their sterling speedster all season long, not only as a kick returner, but he's their number 2 receiver and their number 2 running back as far as yardage is concerned, and he is not likely to play tonight. Pulled a hammy on a 95-yard kickoff return last week. Handoff inside to Rye Fullerton, and Fullerton pulls a little bit of the action that the Russets were doing by just simply putting his head down and barreling forward for 6 yards.
Linebacker Austin Cannon on the tackle there, stopping Fullerton after a 6-yard gain. Bring up 2nd and 4th. This is typically where Emmett likes to just stick with the run. Fullerton has been their workhorse all season. Also look for Joe Loomis sticking in at running back to take that step away from Brennan, who's out.
Handoff goes to the second man, who's not going to get first down yardage. He had a little bit of blocking, and I believe that was
25.
It was Fullerton again.
Yep.
Okay, so Loomis blocking. He picks up a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 3. This is where the Huskies have really need to step up. They've had some issues, it seems like, early in ball games where they've gone 3 and out a couple of times and gotten a little bit behind the chains and have had to rally to pick up some of their 7 wins this year. Perry looking for the high snap. Handoff goes to Fullerton, and he's going to be very close to the first down. He barreled across the 35, is dropped at the 36, and they stripes say move those sticks. So 1st and 10 for the Huskies. So 3 carries by Fullerton, and they have a first down. 7:16 to go here in the first quarter. Shelley with an early 7-0 lead.
Howe split up to the top. Loomis is down at the bottom, and Fullerton in the backfield. Quick pass out to number 27, Quentin Smith, who's getting some playing time for the first time this season, it looks like.
Quentin Smith, who was injured early in the year, in there in place of Brennan right now. And the pass from Perry a little bit short, and they were lucky that it bounced off of Smith, who was on his knees and was not picked off. So incomplete on the first attempt for Perry. He's completing over 60% of his passes this year and has 32 passing touchdowns on the year. He's looking to go deep again, fires over into the flat, and he had a lot of traffic, but he had 2 receivers too close together there, Daniel Walker and Stevie Howe, but there were plenty of defenders there as well for the Russets. So 2 passing attempts so far have not looked like they were well executed yet.
Now, and you bring up a good point, Perry with the school record 32 touchdowns with only 4 interceptions thrown this year has been an absolute workhorse, and if they cannot get him going this game, that is not looking good for the Huskies. He's going to pull up and fire a deep ball to Howe, who is rode the entire way down, and there is the pass
flag.
Interference.
Yeah, you saw that coming. Yeah,
there's no way that wasn't
Howard turned back for the ball, was waiting on it, and his defender came right into his grill. And, of course, this is not the NFL, so we don't go to the spot of the foul. It's just a 15-yard march off. But
it will create another first down and move that pigskin just into Shelley territory, I think, at about the 49.
That's what it looks like. Yep, they're going to line it up at the 49. So the first time for Emmett in Shelley territory for the evening. And you can see 2 incomplete passes in a row, but no fear at all for Perry, who goes right back to his bread and butter Stevie Howe and throws it long.
Well, Kyle Davis was there defending, and he's got some height advantages there. Handoff to Fullerton. He's going to get crunched at the line of scrimmage and fall forward for a yard, maybe 2. The officials on each side of the field are about a yard apart from each other, so they're going to place it at the 48. So a pickup of 1 yard for the Huskies. And 2nd and 9.
So just got an update that Shelley's number 4 previous player is now wearing number 12 tonight. That's Caden Johnson is going to be wearing number 12 instead of 4 tonight.
Okay, so we'll have to watch for that because he's one of their big running backs. And the Huskies with another handoff will pick up another 3 yards. So 3rd down and 6 coming up at the Russet 45-yard line. Emmett still looking for a little bit of movement. They've got Fullerton in the backfield alongside of the quarterback, Dakota Perry. Perry looking downfield, fires it out into the flat, and he had all kinds of receivers all over Stevie Howe, and I think Perry and Coach Rich Hargett are going to have to look early for other alternatives than Stevie Howe. Howe has 19 touchdown receptions on the season, which is a school record for receiving touchdowns in the year. That has been the favorite target for Perry all year long, and so far all 3 of the passes have had Howe in the mix. Somewhere on the side of the field where the target was, and only the pass interference call has worked. Nothing else has actually been completed yet. 5:51 to go. It's 4th down and 6 for the Huskies at the Shelley 45, and it'll be a punt, and punting it downfield and getting a nice roll inside the 10 down to the 9-yard line. Was that off of Perry's foot?
No, that was Ryder Scheibe.
Okay, so Scheibe came in to do the punting. Sometimes we see Perry do that kind of out of the shotgun, but Scheibe was there, and a good punt from the standpoint is they've at least picked up some field space here if they can get a stop on that Shelley offense, because so far Shelley has not had to run a 3rd down play. They've been 2 plays in 10 yards, 10, 12 yards, and they marched down the field for the last score. And they're going to see if they can do that again here. 5:41 remaining in the first quarter as Shelley comes out inside their own 10. Handoff deep in the backfield and flying outside and picking it up and running for first down yardage as they scoot around the edge. That's Caden Kidman.
Yep.
Kidman with a round out. And right now the Huskies have not had an answer for those sweeps out right or left.
No, it's and you can see the guard on the opposite side is pulling almost on every single play when they're doing that speed sweep, and he's getting some great blocks right around the corner to break open those runs. So
already up to the 23rd 3-yard line. They're going to hand it off this time. That'll be to Johnson, again in number 12, rather than in number 4. And Johnson gets about 4 yards maybe. Let's see. They're going to mark it at about the 27-yard line. We'll call it a 4-yard pickup.
That was actually Kidman again.
Oh, it was Kidman? Yep. Okay. 5?
5 again.
Okay.
So no sign of Johnson so far.
We're still watching for him. He was the big ground gainer last week in the loss at Skyline, 140 yards rushing. 2nd down and about 6 here. Handoff right up the middle and diving straight forward for big yardage is number 1. That is Riker Klinger. And so Klinger with right up the gut takes it to the 35 and another first down for Shelley. So it's 1 or 2 downs to get 10 yards plus. And right now they are just simply rolling down the field with that wing T offense.
So far, this defensive line has not got an answer for this run game. They're just getting blown off the ball every single play and getting about 3 to 4 yards pushed back.
Back to pass. Looking across the middle, a nice pass over the middle to Kason Eaton, and Eaton's going to get first down yardage and then some back into Emmett territory as the quarterback just backed up, and Nate Nelson just had a wide open receiver coming across the middle. And boy, that can be expected when you're having the success you have running the perimeter, because those linebackers are trying to shift one side of the field to the other, and they're leaving a gap in the middle.
And I believe that was the first pass of the game for Shelley, so far a perfect passer rating.
It's been clicking, and the Huskies yet to complete a pass. They're only yardage off a pass on a pass interference call. Handoff inside, going straight ahead, driving forward, and there is number 12. That is Caden Johnson. Johnson, with his first carry, I believe, of the game, gets it all the way out to the down to the 42-yard line. So a pickup of about 5. It's 5 or 6 minimum, it seems like, on every carry right now for the Russets, as they're showing how they were able to get to the top of the High Country Conference before they lost their last 2 conference games and then ended up having to go on the road.
It's been a very up and down season. The pitch goes to number 1,
Riker
Klinger.
And Klinger's going to be stopped short of first down yardage, grabbing an arm and pulling him down. He lost the ball, but the official says no, the ball was down as he went out of bounds. He's going to be a couple of yards short of a first down. They're going to mark him just inside the 40. He needs to get down to about the 37.5-yard line. So the first third down, I believe, of the ball game coming up here for Shelley. And this drive started at their own 8-yard line, so an impressive offensive showing so far for the Russets here in Emmett. Pitch goes back, getting first down yardage, hitting a man at the 42 and diving forward to the 40 is number 5. That is Kidman again. So Kidman with another 5-yard pickup and another Russet first down.
So far, we've had 4 different ball carriers for Shelley in this first quarter, and all of them are finding success, whether it's from the quarterback position or the running back position. So far, it's really just been the tale of 2 lines, and you've got the offensive line from Shelley just getting a ton of power and push over this Emmett defense.
And this is what we saw in the Valley View game 2 weeks ago, and then the Huskies made some adjustments, particularly with Christian Sanchez, and let him kind of get loose, but Klinger's going to get another 5 just straight up the gut, and getting blocking from his backs. They're going to give him 4. They're going to place him at the 31. So second down and 6 coming up for the Russets.
Shelley has come out to make a statement tonight. We are going to run it right at you and dare you to stop us. And so far, Emmett hasn't had the answer.
And that's rare, because the 2 games this season that they haven't had the answer were Bishop Kelly and Valley View. For the most part, they've controlled the running attack of other teams. We have timeout being called on the field by Russets. With a 1:34 to go here in the first quarter, it is a 7-0 lead for the Shelley Russets, and they're driving again into Emmett territory. Dr. Hansen at River Valley Dental in Shelley has been serving patients for over 25 years. Dr. Hansen and Russet alum Dr. Tanner Hyam, say it right, that's Hyam, are eager to serve you. The highly trained team at River Valley Dental works together to provide you with courteous and professional dental care in the most comfortable environment possible. They offer personalized treatments that will help you make an informed decision about your oral health. Dr. Hansen and Dr. Hyam at River Valley Dental, proud to support Shelley in the playoffs this year. And right now, the Russets showing they've got lots of support. Good crowd on the far side of the field making the trip clear across the straight. Since 2008, Adrenaline Performance in Shelley has been the place to go for all your automotive needs. They offer a full-service mechanic shop with the best customer service you can find. Everyone at Adrenaline Performance wishing the Russets good luck in today's game. Right now, it's not luck. It's just pure, straight, physical, brute strength at the line. And they're driving, trying to get their second score, and they're going to go outside to Riker, and he's going to take it all the way, I believe. He has great speed on the quarter and goes 31 yards for the score. Riker Klinger.
Shelley out here making a statement to start the game. They are not going to put their foot off the gas, and they are just going to keep running the speed sweeps that have been working so well for them. They seem to get in this rhythm where they run it a couple times up the center and then just swing it off on the outside of the tackle and get huge yardage.
Trying to see who's doing the kicking to try to pick up his extra point of the ball game.
Looks like number 43.
43, which we, of course, do not have on the roster. And the kick is up. And the kick is good.
It is 42.
42.
Shane Perkovich.
Okay, so Perkovich gets the extra point, his second of the ball game, and it is 14-0 in favor of the Russets with 1:31 remaining here in the first quarter. And the Huskies back on their heels right now, and they got to get back in their kickoff return formation and see if they can get their offense cranked up. We mentioned when they had their first possession, you don't want to get behind in a game like this, particularly if you get down more than a score or two, because they run the clock. This running attack just eats the clock up. I mean, we've had 3 total possessions, 2 of them by Shelley, and we've almost finished the entire first quarter.
If you look on paper, these offenses aren't so equally lined up. Emmett, with the 5th highest scoring offense in the 4A division, has usually been the higher scoring offense, averaging about 38 points a game, whereas the Shelley offense is only averaging about 22 points a game. So not scoring as much, but controlling that clock and not allowing their opponents to score as well.
And they're well over that pace right now. Kick is taken at the 10-yard line, bringing it upfield to the 20, out to the 30, up to the 35, and taken down at the 40. The last man to make the stop on the far side. And I'm trying to double check as was that.
Quentin Smith was the return man.
Okay, so Quentin Smith has totally stepped into the role of Isaac Brennan now.
He is Brennan for all intents and purposes tonight, it seems. He's making the returns like Brennan did and is lining up in that slot receiver position for him.
So instead of 21, it's 27, Quentin Smith, and the Huskies start this time right at the 40-yard line. Handoff goes to the second man. It's picked up by Fullerton. He pivots the second time, breaks the tackle. He's across the 50 down to the 47-yard line. Mr. Patience.
Once again, taking his time and letting the play develop. Fullerton has been that back the entire season. He's not particularly large. He's not particularly fast, but he just has this patience that is undeniable, and he's been showing that today. Handoff goes to him once again, and even though he's hitting the backfield, stumbles forward for a 4-yard gain.
Fullerton averaging right at about 140 yards a game this year. He had his first 200-yard game of his career last week at Ridgeview. And he had his first long run, a 65-yarder up the middle to score in that game as well.
Handoff's going to go to Fullerton again, who's going to pile up the ground and going to drag 3 defensive players with him for an extra yard at the end there for about I'd say a 6-yard run.
He's going to get within a half a yard or so, I think, of the first down marker. He gets it down to the 38-yard line. He's got to get it to the 37. So third down coming up for the Huskies as they've so far kept it on the ground and just powered it with Fullerton. The passing game in the last possession netted nothing for them. The deep pitch going back to Fullerton, and he loses the ball, and it's on the ground. Let's see. Perry dives in at the last minute on the far side. I think he got coverage. And I think the Huskies held on to the possession. We're waiting for and who is
15.
Down? Is that the quarterback, Dakota Perry?
That is Dakota Perry on the ground in some pain. He gets right back up.
But the official's going to send him to the sideline, it appears. So that's now 4th down and 1, and it appears the starting quarterback, who has been such a huge factor for the Huskies all season, at least is on the sideline for now. That is the end of the first quarter. We've completed one quarter here. The Huskies are moving it, but they've got a 4th and 1 in Shelley territory they're going to have to deal with when we return to action in just a moment. We are back. It appears that the Huskies, with Well, now they flipped the marks. It was 4th down and 1, and now all of a sudden the way they've got the markers set, it's 4th down and
it was a sack. Remember the fumble in the backfield, so they lost 4 yards.
Okay, so they did mark it to there then finally. Okay, so with the change and a fake on the punt, it's a pitch. It's snapped directly to Fullerton, and Shelley doesn't bite. They were totally ready for it. Scheibe tried to fake that the ball had gone over his head. The direct snap went to Fullerton. He actually lost a couple of yards, and the Huskies right now have put an onus on their defense because they have been marched down the field twice to score, and they've given them a short field here for 55 yards as Shelley will start this time at their own 45. Last time they started at their own 8 and went all the way with a big running play to eventually finish that one off. So we're just underway, and the Huskies turn it over on downs.
Huskies looked good on that last drive, but kind of stalled out there at the end. And now Shelley going to get the speed sweep to the right side.
And Johnson's got breaking a tackle, and he's taking a man on nose to nose, and he pushes the defender another 5 yards down the road. That was Joe Loomis trying to put the stop on Caden Johnson, and Johnson gets big yardage from the 45 all the way down to the Emmett 32-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Russets. And right now, every handoff is yardage for Shelley.
Right now, Shelley looks unstoppable. If you're Coach Hargett, you've got to think you got to stack that line, and you can see they've now got 6 down linemen on the defensive side to try to stop them. It seems to work on this play, but only after a 3-yard pickup. Eventually on the tackle is number 80. That's Christian Sanchez finally getting into the game.
But Caden Kidman still picks up another 4 yards, whether they're running off tackle or running on the sweep. They're getting a little bit of perimeter space and making the best of it. So 2nd down and 6 right now for the Russets at the Emmett 28-yard line. Pitch goes back deep to Riker Klinger. Klinger's trying to get free to break out to the outside. He's going to get a couple of yards, but he cut in and right into the teeth of the defenders that were shifting that direction. So he'll get a yard maybe at most. Let's see. We'll have to see where they actually place it down on the field. It looks like they're going to put it at the 27 and a half, just inside the 28.
About a 6-inch pickup on that play.
Yeah. So 3rd down and a long 5 coming up for the Russets. They've only had one other 3rd down play so far here in the ball game. This is their 3rd possession of the evening.
And you can see that defensive shift now. You have 6 down defensive linemen on this play, trying to stop this run. The handoff's going to go up the middle.
And Johnson will get very close to 1st down yardage. He dives. He had contact made at about the 26, but it looks like he got it inside the 24, and they're going to mark it all the way to the 20. Well, they're going to say he's a yard short. It's hard to say on this field when you look to the other side where the marker is, but they're going to say he's a yard short. So the first 4th down, obviously, of the ball game that the Russets have faced.
Russets do have a very good kicking team, making most of their extra points this year. Don't know how he's from the field, but...
And we're still a long ways out. You'd be looking at, over 40 yards here. But so the quarterback, and he just kept it the last time. Handoff goes to Johnson. He'll get 1st down yardage. He was hit at the line of scrimmage, but bounced off to the right and then fell forward to the 21. It'll be 1st and 10 for Shelley at that point. This is a huge, huge defensive possession for the Huskies, because if they fall 3 scores down, they may not have enough time to ever get back into this ball game the way Shelley controls the clock.
No, and Shelley, kind of as you said, the opposite side of that coin to Emmett. Emmett likes to run the no-huddle offense. They like to run the hurry-up offense, lots of passes, whereas Shelley is very content just to run the clock down in those huddles.
Well, and with the success they've had running the ball, you can't question that. Handoff goes to Kidman, who goes around the right side. He's going to get 8, maybe 9 yards. He's down inside the 15. Again, those sweeps, they've got all kinds of blockers, and, of course, that's part of the strength of the wing T, because you have 3 running backs and a quarterback that runs all in the backfield. And if they're not running, they're blocking.
And not only that, but the wing T also allows for a lot of pulling on the line. So a typical wing T play, you'll notice there are 2 to 3 offensive linemen pulling as well.
Handoff goes again to Kidman. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage and will finally be dropped. Looked like he might have a big loss. He's going to get back close to about the 18, maybe the 17-yard line. So that'll make it 3rd down and about 5.
Joe Loomis on the tackle there, getting great penetration, reading that play wonderfully from the middle linebacker position.
This is where, after having already seen a pass play over the middle, that do they strike here? Because right now the Huskies are having to sell the farm in order to try to stake some defense here against this rushing attack.
And it's that weird spot on the field where it could be a run, it could be a pass, it could be a strike for the end zone, so you never know.
Handoff goes inside to Riker, and Riker Klinger's got first down yardage all the way down inside the 10-yard line. And I tell you, when it gets close, those linemen get in there, and I can't call it anything other than a rugby scrum. They just simply get together and move that ball.
They're moving the whole pile. It's not just the ball. They're pushing the defensive players back. You could have 3-4 of Emmett players on the ball carrier, and it doesn't seem to matter because those big linemen get their legs moving and push the whole pile forward.
Well, it's 1st and goal now for Shelley, trying to get their 3rd touchdown in as many possessions, and the handoff is not going to get any yardage here. In fact, it's going to lose yardage. That was Klinger with the football. He was stopped at the 10-yard line. So it'll remain 2nd and goal now, but from the 10 rather than 1st and goal from the 8.
Bunch of defensive linemen got through there and had contact in the back end of the field. Ended up being Christian Sanchez on the tackle from the far side defensive end position, which seems to be his MO.
And we talk about time of possession. You know, the Russets got this ball on the 2nd play of the 2nd quarter, and we are now nearing the 6-minute mark. So they've had almost a 6-minute possession, and they're going to take a timeout. This will be Shelley's 2nd timeout of the first half. But they're wanting to make sure they get this one done right, because they know if they can get a 21-0 lead, they're going to be in control of this football game, and the Huskies are going to have to pull some rabbits out of the hat. Hannigan Auto Sales have been locally owned and operated for nearly a century at Emmett. At Hannigan Auto Sales and Service, they can take care of everything before, during, and after the sale. In-house financing, full-service auto detailing, and full auto service, including diesels. They are now buying used cars, not just trading them in. They'll buy them directly for cash. Give them a call at 365-5050 or stop in at Hannigan Auto Sales and Service on Washington Avenue in Emmett. Matthews Plumbing has been in business since 1947. At Matthews Plumbing, they can service new or existing homes. Matthews Plumbing has been serving the Shelley community for over 70 years. Matthews Plumbing wanting to wish the Russets good luck in tonight's game. And as we said earlier with some of the other Russet boosters, right now luck has nothing to do with it. It's just playing power wing T football, and the Russets are winning that ball game. And a big series here. It's 2nd down and goal from the 10-yard line as they try to take a 3-possession or a 3-score lead in this contest. Handoff goes right up the middle, and boy, we had a lot of bodies falling forward, but doesn't appear went. I think it was just a couple of yard pickup.
It's going to bring up 3rd down and goal on this play.
Looks like they moved it just inside the 10. So 3rd and goal just outside the 9. And this is where you talked earlier that the kicking game might come into play, as Shelley's had a solid kicking effort from at least the PAT numbers that we've seen. And we're not much beyond a PAT range at this. Watching the 2 PATs that he's kicked through already in this ball game, I don't think he'd have a problem with the distance here. Handoff inside. Now bouncing it outside is Johnson, and Johnson's going to get close to the 5, but that's it. As they tried to bounce it outside, and the Huskies linebacking core shifted with him. They're going to mark it at the 6-yard line, so it's 4th and goal at the 6. And do you come in and try to kick what is just a little bit more than a extra point to try to take a 3-score lead?
It does look like they are lining up for the PAT. So number 42, that is
Shane Perkovich.
Perkovich back to kick again.
Sophomore. And he's there to try to make this a 17-0 lead. The kick is on its way, and it is good. And the mark was at the 15, so a 25-yard field goal for Perkovic. And with 5:03 to go, and the number that strikes me is there's only 5:03 left here in the second quarter. That was a 7-minute drive nearly by Shelley that went 55 yards and ended it with a 25-yard Perkovic field goal.
And something to keep in mind is that even though these are the two smallest schools as far as enrollment in the 4A division, something to keep in mind is that this Shelley team has a much deeper bench. They run almost exclusively offensive versus defensive personnel, whereas 9 of the players on the Emmett side go both ways. So you're going to have a lot more fresh players on the side of Shelley. So Emmett really needs to get something on the board going into this half if they don't want to be trailing from behind come fourth quarter.
And that is the what we call the middle 8. The last 4 of the first and the last first 4 of the second have been huge for Emmett this year. They have trailed several ball games in the first half and then been able to get some momentum before halftime and turn things around. But they're going to have to do it on this possession. Only 5:03 remaining here, and the kick will be taken at the 15-yard line, and not much yardage there.
Joe Loomis with a reception only returned it about 10 yards.
Yeah, they're going to mark him out to the, looks like the 27. So a 12-yard total return for Loomis. The Huskies have a long ways to go and 4 minutes and 58 seconds to do something with it, and they definitely need something here. They've had no more than 2 first downs on any possession so far. This is only their 3rd possession of the game.
Well, with Shelley running the ball so efficiently, they've just been burning the entire clock down. Perry's going to drop back to pass. His first time with nothing in the backfield. He's going to throw it out. That's going to be number 14, Janet Walker, with the catch for a 14-yard pickup.
So he throws it back across his body for Walker, who was cutting toward the middle of the field because nothing opened up on the fly. And the Huskies get their first pass completion of the ball game with 4:43 to go here in the first half, trailing 17-0. Perry with Fullerton to the backfield. Hand off to Fullerton. He's going to be hit. No, Perry kept it, and he fell down as he tried to pull that one back and lost his footing. So a loss of 3 yards on the play for the Huskies. And right now, as we've seen in the last 3 games that the Huskies, well, not last week. At Ridgeview, they got it started with a 95-yard kickoff to start the game, had 29 before the first quarter was over. But the last couple of games here at home, they have struggled in the first half offensively with execution. Now Perry's going to take it back across the field, and he's looking.
That was for Joe Loomis.
He was looking for Loomis all the way down to the 37, but great defensive play in there by number 14, and that is Dallin Hurd, the junior safety for Shelley, to bring up 3rd down and long for the Huskies. So they're still looking deep, and they've got one completion going to him. Great secondary right now play by Shelley.
Well, and Hurd really saving more than just the first down on that play. There was no one behind him. If Loomis had gotten that ball, he could have been gone.
So Perry back to pass, chased out of the pocket. He's now going to run for it and see what he can pick up. He's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage and a few more, but it'll be 4th down and about 7 coming up for the Huskies, and they're still in their own territory at the 47. This would be a big gamble with 3:44 to go before halftime to go for it here, but I don't know if you want to kick it deep.
Riker Scheibe will be coming on to do the punting, so it looks like it will be a punt. Then again, last time they were in the same situation, they faked it with a direct snap to Rye Fullerton, so we'll see how that goes.
They got 3 men of the up back. Scheibe's there. Nobody is back for the Russets. They have not gone back on the punts at all. They've pretty much Scheibe drops the ball but picks it up, now gets a low bouncing kick that hits down at about the 21-22-yard line. Down there to stop it is Stevie Howe. It really just kind of died. It didn't get the roll that his first one did. And the bullet to dodge here is with 3:10 to go. the running attack takes time, and they've already used 2 of their 3 timeouts here in the first half for Shelley, but they're not averse to score it again before halftime.
No, and one of the biggest things you have to look for is Emmett really needs to make a stop here so they can utilize those 3 timeouts they still have for this half. They need to stop them running, and if I'm Shelley, I'm not looking at for anything but a run. That being said, he rolls out for the pass and throws a little pick to 84, who's going to run it all the way down to the 45. 84, who was that?
That was out to Michael Clegg, and they fire that out to him. And again, total misconception there because we're thinking they're going to run the clock. But, all of a sudden they've shortened that field up and they still have 3 minutes to play. They obviously are thinking more points on that board before halftime.
Well, and Emmett has been such a good second-half team. If you're Shelley, you really don't want to risk not having that opportunity to put the score up again. It's going to be a handoff once again to number 5, Kidman.
Yeah.
And he's going to get hit hard by Rye Fullerton at the end of that play after about a 7-yard pickup.
As you noticed, Fullerton's name called defensively, and a lot of these names that we're calling on the Emmett defense were also names we're calling on the offensive side. You alluded to that earlier. It's strange, though, that both of these teams among the smaller schools in the 4A division, and yet their total football programs have as many people out for football as many of the schools within the division that are 2 and 3 times their size.
Well, and actually in some cases they have more because a lot of teams have been having trouble fielding a junior varsity team. We do have laundry on the field. Not sure what that is. It could be a hole, but the Stripes are having a conference in the middle of the field. But
it's clear over on this side, which is kind of away from where any action was. But so let's.
Looks like it's going to be on Emmett. Not sure what the call is.
The White Hats going over to talk with Coach.
But as we were talking about, these being the smallest teams, they actually, both sides field both a freshman, a junior varsity, and a varsity team, whereas a lot of 4A schools have foregone the JV or the freshman team this year. So actually a pretty decent turnout for both these teams. It looks like it's going to be
That's a 5-yard march off whatever it is. It makes it second down and
about 3.
It was added on to whatever the run was there. So 2nd and 3. And in Husky territory, back to pass over the middle, nearly intercepted. He was looking to try to strike Michael Clegg again. It was overthrown, sliding in there but unable to come up with it was Stevie Howe. Howe looking for his 4th interception of the season. And that could have been a big factor and a big relief for the Huskies, but it came up short. And with 2:37 to go, it's now 3rd down and 3 for Shelley. Just into Emmett territory with a 17-0 lead.
Look for the handoff off the right side. There it is. It's going to be a speed sweep to the right.
And it'll be 1st down yardage. Taking it is that Kidman, number 5 on the far side. And Kidman will pick up about 8 yards all the way to the 40-yard line. They're going to mark him at the 41. But we have a yellow flag in the mixed, and they're pointing it back against Shelley.
It looks like it's going to be a holding call off the end. So that'll be a 5-yard mark off to bring up 3rd and about 5.
It's a 10 yards from the spot of the foul, but it will bring it back, but it's and remains 3rd down. But it's 3rd down now and 8 rather than 3rd down and 2. And the clock is still running with 2:25 to go. They've restarted it
I'm
after
actually kind of
the penalty.
surprised Emmett didn't call a timeout there.
Back to pass. Going to flare out a little pass to Klinger, and he looked like he was down, and then he breaks the tackle. He's got 1st down yardage inside down to the 40, but another yellow flag is thrown back near where the tackle was attempted.
And I believe it's going to be an illegal block. You can't block someone who's tackling from behind. So that's going to be a legal block on the offense, which should walk it back even farther.
The clock with 2 minutes and 8 seconds to go here. But a well-executed play, but the Huskies seem to have it spelled out, and maybe the reason the Klinger was able to get free from the tackler was there was a little bit of help there.
That's exactly what happened. Joe Loomis had him dead to rights until he got hit in the back while he was on the ground trying to drag down the carrier, so it is going to be about a 5-yard mark off. It's only an illegal block, so 5 yards, which will bring up 3rd now and 12. And
But for the Russets, they're still using time in this whole process.
Right.
It would be interesting to see if the Huskies call a timeout if they're able to stop them here on 3rd down.
Oh, without a doubt. With 2 minutes left in the quarter, you have to imagine they're going to call it. And it's going to be a tackle right at the line of scrimmage to bring up a 4th and 10.
That was Riker Klinger again going straight ahead. So
and there is the timeout from Emmett. So
1:47 to go. It'll be 4th down and 11 for the Russets. And I would think that they will punt this ball. I mean, you're in a position that you could pretty much run out the clock if you can get a 1st down, but you've got 11 yards to go. And if you fail, the Huskies have got it at midfield and the opportunity to try to score before halftime.
Nope, Shelley's got all the cards in their hand. At this point, there's no reason to risk going for it. You kick it deep, pin them deep, and dare them to try to score in 1:47, possibly making a mistake. So,
well, no dealing from the bottom of the deck, we'll assume here, and we'll be looking for the punt coming up in just a moment. Are you ready for winter? It's coming, and the helpful place for your building and hardware needs and more is Gem Supply and Building Co-op in Emmett. Wood pellets are now in stock and ready for pickup. Come see Lori and the gang at Gem Supply Co-op. The nursery's pretty much done, but Christmas trees will be arriving November 21, so get ready. Gem Supply and Building Co-op, North Washington in Emmett. Brulams in Shelley, proud to support the Shelley boys at state this year and wish them the best of luck. Go Russets from everyone at Brulams in Shelley. And the Russets break out. It's 4th down at 11 at their own 46-yard line, and they do have a punter in the game to handle those duties.
It said, what a high booming kick. Ball goes about 40 yards up in the air, ends up rolling out of bounds at about the, let's say, 17-yard line.
So was that Kidman?
That was Kidman with the punt. So
beautiful punt, hung in the air, goes out of bounds. 1:38 remains, and the Huskies have a lot of turf in front of them. They're going to get this at their own 22-yard line.
And here is the moment for Dakota Perry. This is where he needs to bring his team back into the game. He's been so automatic all season long, and really it's on his shoulders. Obviously, as we said before, the touchdown record holder for Emmett, so looking to make some magic here before the end of the half.
Well, he's alone in the backfield. Everybody split. Trips to the right side of the field. Perry's looking downfield. Gets it to Howe, and Howe has it at the 43-yard line. He found Howe instead of on the route on the outside on the coming across, and if you get that ball close to Stevie Howe, he grabs it.
And it's going to be a hurry-up offense. The clock is going to run as soon as they place the ball, which they just have, so it's down to 1:25 left, and you're going to see this hurry-up offense from Emmett.
Biggest offensive play of the ball game for the Huskies. A flag has been thrown, so that's going to go against the Huskies most likely. Again, crossing pattern to Daniel Walker. He turns upfield and slips out of bounds. Would be another 1st down, but we have a motion called against the Huskies.
Yep, illegal motion on the far side of the field.
So instead of at the Russet 38, they're going to be back at their own 40-yard line facing 1st down and 15.
Now, that's supposed to be a dead ball foul, but usually in high school they let them play out the play because it's actually safer to let the kids play the ball than to call it dead right there at the beginning. So, though it should have been a dead ball, it's going to run the clock, and once again, that helps out Shelley because it burned another 5 seconds off the clock. We're now down to 1:17 left in the half.
We'll see if the clock starts when the official signals it to do. Or
It
we'll
should
go
just
with
start.
the snap.
It'll start on the snap. So
Perry rolling out to the right, fires across the middle, right through the hands of Daniel Walker. Walker could probably hear the footsteps coming up behind him. Getting ready to put a tattoo on him was number 28, Chase Ricks, and Walker unable to get a hold of it. So it'll be 2nd down and 15 for the Huskies. They're finding a little bit of space out there as the Russets playing maybe just a wee bit of a prevent defense.
They're definitely in a prevent. They only have 3 down linemen, which is different for them. They usually run a 4-3, but they're running the 3-4 right now. And actually, I'd almost call it a 3-5 nickel, but they've got 4 safeties back to defend here.
Perry again looking downfield. He's going to let one go, and his receiver is out there, but it's overthrown. Defender was right there. Of course, that was Stevie Howe again he was looking for.
And Howe wanting the pass interference but didn't get it. I think that was excellently defended. Was looking at the ball the whole time. So a little body bumping, but that's okay as long as you're playing for the ball. So.
And this is where Howe has been finding lots of double team coverage, and he had it again there, and yet Perry's still gone to him, and part of that's because Howe has pulled down a lot of passes with double coverage on him. But that's a little hard to do right now. 1:04 to go, 3rd down and 15 for the Huskies.
And
at their own 40.
Look for them to shoot directly for that first down mark. They're not going to go for the gusto here because they just don't have the opportunities. They're going to be looking for those crossing routes, and you can see them right in front of your field. Perry makes a guy move. He's going to throw it across his body. He has the receiver falls down, and it's picked off by number 28 and is going to actually fall down at the 40-yard line. That's number 28.
And we have a very late
Chase
flag
Ricks.
coming in from back the other way, which is probably going to against the Huskies, I would think, after the takeover. Loomis was knocked down crossing the field and going toward his spot. He was knocked down before he could get there, so the ball went directly to the defender that was playing the deep zone. And Loomis's only 5th interception of the season.
There is an interesting idea here, though, because it looks like the flag was thrown right where Joe fell down. So I don't know if they're saying it's PI and being pushed from behind.
And that would be strange where that would be coming from, because it was coming from 30 yards downfield. And now the flag has been picked up.
And it will be offsetting penalties, it looks like.
Not sure where that is, but it doesn't really matter. Shelley gets it at their own 40-yard line with 49 seconds to go.
So it was a holding call on the defense for holding Joe, but then they get called on a face mask on the Emmett side of the field.
Well, that's not offsetting because they're marching off the 15 yards for the face mask.
I'm not sure what's going on because they definitely said they offset. So maybe there was another offensive penalty, but I only saw one flag, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on.
Yeah. Well, unless they were saying that it was offensive interference and they waved that off and came back the other direction, because it doesn't make sense. But now all of a sudden Shelley's at the Emmett 44 with 38 seconds to go, and they're going to screen pass it outside to Riker Klinger. He's got first down yardage. Does he get out of bounds? He lost the ball out of bounds, but I don't know that he got out of bounds. No, he did not. The clock continues to roll, or at least the official rolled his hands, but the clock is not. It stopped, maybe just for the moving of the chains.
It was for the moving of the chains. The clock is moving, so we have 35 seconds left in the half, and I expect one more play out of Shelley.
Shelley at the 34-yard line of Emmett. Look for them to go downfield. They would love to get some more points on the board. Back to pass. They're going to fire it out into the flat. Wide open on the right side is Kidman, and he's going to take it into the end zone, or he's going to be short.
No,
official says he goes out at the 4.
They're going to mark him out at the 4-yard line. They think he got his toe out of bounds, so just barely saving that touchdown.
Just a wheel route to Kidman on the outside, and the Huskies were not ready for that. Gave up big yardage on the pass play. And now Shelley, with 17 seconds to go, they can pretty much use any of their plays because their running plays have gotten them 5 or more many times. But they've been very, very effective with the play-action passing.
And with the ball being where it's at with 17 seconds left, they can take a couple shots at the end zone and still kick that field goal. They do have that one timeout.
But they'd love to get a T here because then they got a 4-score lead, and they're going to pass to the end zone, and it is incomplete, but we're going to have a pass interference call.
I don't know about that one. That looked like he was playing the ball. The penalty's going to be called on number 5. That's going to be Kalen Conklin.
Looked like he was stretched out in front of the receiver.
I think they're going to call it a holding. They're going to call a holding call. He must have had the back of his jersey to help pull him around.
And maybe earlier in the play before the pass got there.
So that'll bring up 2nd and about 3. It's only half the distance to the goal penalty, and that only ran 3 seconds off the clock. 5 seconds off the clock. So it's 12 seconds left. It's going to be a QB sneak up the middle for the Shelley touchdown.
So a second scoring touchdown by the quarterback, Nelson. So Nate Nelson has got 2 yards rushing on, and both of them have scored.
Well, we'll call it 4 yards rushing because this one was from the 3. But
Oh, okay. We'll give him a little bit more space.
Come on.
I was thinking they were marked down.
Dell, the kid's working for yards.
There's 8 seconds to go here in the first half. That has been all Shelley, and the Huskies are going to go into the locker room here with a huge hole to try to attack here in the second half. And the kick is good because they've looked good all night long. And with 8 seconds to go before halftime, it's Shelley 24 and the Emmett Huskies nothing. And the Huskies obviously missing Isaac Brennan in that offensive mix, but they just have not been clicking until that last drive before they came up with the interception.
And that's only Perry's 5th interception on the season. He's been absolutely lights out so far this season. This just doesn't look like the typical Huskies we're used to seeing. Rye Fullerton had a little bit of energy in the beginning of the game, but has been pretty dead since then.
Well, he hasn't had many handoffs in the last 2 possessions. The Huskies down 17 points have been trying to pick up big yardage, and we haven't seen Fullerton with that opportunity. Huskies will get the opening kickoff to start the second half, but unless they get a kickoff return here or get out of bounds quickly, they're not likely to get another playoff here in the first half, and they're going to have a goose egg as they go into the locker room. The kick to the far side is looked like it was going to go out of bounds. It's going to be picked up back at the 8-yard line by Loomis, and he's going to run with it. Flag in the backfield. It'll probably go against the Huskies. Won't really well, there's 1 second left, so they weren't in the end zone where that penalty was called. At worst, it looks like the Huskies are going to get it at their 6-yard line, but the penalty is against Emmett as well.
It's going to be a block in the back by Stevie Howe, so that's going to bring them back all the way half the distance to the goal, so that should be right at about the 5-yard line is where they'll start.
Let's see where they had marked it originally. I think it's going to be closer to the 3. And
you're correct. It is on the 3-yard line. So
97 yards in 1 second. So what's the magic for that?
Stranger things have happened.
I don't think looking at the formation, they're looking at taking a knee. And
they will do that.
They're not happy with
the end zone, though.
They're not happy with their first half, obviously, but they're not going to make it worse. That turnover and then the quick strike by Shelley has made this so far a Shelley opportunity to try to see if they can get back to the quarterfinals against possibly Sandpoint, where they went up last year and lost in the quarterfinals at Sandpoint. Sandpoint and Skyview will be playing a little bit later this evening. So it's halftime, and Shelley with the stunner for a lot of the hometown fans here, at least. Not necessarily that they have the lead, but a 24-0 shutout on the Emmett Huskies. And we'll have to see what Coach Rich Hargett and the Huskies can formulate at halftime, because they've got to score quick, because the they don't get a lot of time with the clock.
Well, we talked about this. The last 4 of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half are really the key moments in this game, and that's what the Huskies have been so dominant at all season, but absolutely nothing at that first half.
And just gave up a score there in those final 50 seconds after a turnover when they looked like they were finally starting to drive. It is Shelley 24, Emmett nothing. It is halftime. We'll be back to talk about the rest of the 4A state playoffs when we return.
Ads like this keep popping up, but I see through the hype, because those vape clouds people claim are just water vapor contain as many as 31 different chemicals, like formaldehyde, the stuff they preserve dead bodies with. And while the flavors sound all harmless, we still have no idea what these ingredients could be doing to our bodies. But I already see vaping for exactly what it is. Get the real facts at BehindTheHaze.com.
We're a valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Look at that. The unmistakable swagger of someone fully covered with health insurance through Your Health Idaho for as low as $0 a month. If you're as speechless as I am right now, say nothing. Health yeah! Enroll by December 15th and you could qualify for quality health insurance starting at $0 a month.
Hello?
I was in an accident.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I had my seatbelt on.
Through storms and bad weather, sure as the sound.
You're welcome. These are hot chocolate milk. You're welcome.
From the desert to the freezing cold, wish I could see it from the stars.
Those are bagels with cream cheese. Can I get you anything else? Okay, great. Try it.
We're working together to build a more sustainable future. Learn more at unbottled.com.
I'm Jen Miguel-Seiler and I'm from Moscow. I think it's really important to get vaccinated because it's not just about me and my health, it's about the people around me. We have a lot of friends who have disabilities or have different health conditions. I want to make sure I don't make anyone sick. So we chose to get vaccinated to keep each other healthy.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy. It takes courage and determination to do hard things. Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
We are back at Emmett High School, where the Russets of Shelley have raced out to a 24-0 lead here at the intermission. And looking at some of the other scores that we've seen, and not surprising in the rest of the 4A, Bishop Kelly with a 35-0 lead in the second quarter against Canyon Ridge. Blackfoot has a 21-3 lead against Hillcrest in the second quarter. Pocatello leads Lakeland 17-14 down at the down in Pocatello, and Twin Falls with a 13-8 edge on Burley in the 4A ranks so far this evening. And those are the early scores they have. I wanted to double check on another spot because at halftime, Valley View is beating Minico 14-7, trying to upset the Spartans for the second year in a row. That would be huge. And other scores, let's see, around the area, Fruitland leads Snake River 14-0 at halftime in the 3A ranks. And Mountain View, having been beaten by Nampa earlier this season in the regular season, has a 28-0 lead on Nampa in the first half in the 5A playoffs. So we'll check some more of those scores in just a moment. Lava Hot Springs is your destination for a fun or relaxing day, whichever you choose. Just 11 miles off I-15. Their world-famous hot springs are open now from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. until 11 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. And all-natural geothermal hot springs are always warm at between the 102 and 112 degree range, so you can come and soak your worries away. Their indoor aquatic center with Kiddie Cove is now open Fridays and Saturdays, noon to 8, and Sundays noon to 5 with special weekday hours. Visit lavahot.springs.com for more information and calendar of hours. And right now it is cold, nippy, but not biting. And so I'm not ready to make the 6-hour drive to Lava Hot Springs here from Emmett, but if it gets much colder, and right now there's probably some Husky fans that are feeling a little bit more chilled just because their team has been shut out in the first half for the first time this season. And right now, they have yet to find a key to unlock their offense against the defense that Shelley's thrown up at them.
Well, and Emmett's done some of those adjustments we talked about at the beginning of the game, first quarter specifically. Shelley was just running all over the Huskies. The Husky defense has strengthened quite a bit to that run, but then because they devoted so much to stopping the run, the passing game has opened up a little bit for Shelley. So, honestly, Emmett's finding some answers on defense, but looking for others, whereas in the offensive side of the ball, they can't get anything going.
Well, and then the killer was down 17-0. They were driving, and they had moved into territory, but a slipped receiver left open a pass that was picked off. And quite frankly, with, was there 57 seconds or something, Shelley made quick work of that by the pass. They came up with a couple of big passes, the wheel route that got them to the 5, and they were able to punch it again. So they have been dominant in that regard. Looking at a few other scores from around the playoffs, the 5A ranks, Rigby leads Owyhee 21-7. Rocky Mountain leads Cuna 22-3. In the 4A ranks, as we said, Bishop Kelly up 35-0. Blackfoot with their lead. Valley View with the 14-7 lead against Minico. And Twin Falls against, in the second quarter, Burley's only scored one touchdown. I mean, they average over 50 points a game, so Twin Falls obviously has somewhat their number. In the 3A ranks, Buell with the 12-6 lead on McCall Donnelly. Fruitland up on Snake River, and Teton rolling against Marsh Valley 28-7. And in the 2As, for you folks down in eastern Idaho, in the fourth quarter, North Fremont already with a 50-30 lead against Soda Springs. I believe that game is the preliminary game being played at Holt Arena, with the Skyline game coming after that a little bit later. Skyline comes up a little bit later tonight. And, of course, Sandpoint and Skyview in this rank will be kicking off, in fact, just about right now up in northern Idaho.
Something to kind of look at as we look toward the greater bracket for the 4A division is the game that we're playing right now is extremely important, obviously, for Shelley and Emmett, but what's even more important in some respects is the game that's happening right now between Sandpoint and Skyview. Yeah. Both of these teams don't want to make that drive up to Sandpoint. It's a long drive. It's historically a very tough venue, and not a great, especially with northern Idaho getting snow so far this year, not something you want to play in.
Yeah, we understand you've had some snow down in the Shelley area already this year. We have not here in the Treasure Valley. In fact, we just got our first killing frost this week, but it is starting to feel like winter. And right now, the big freeze on this field is the Emmett offense, and give a ton of credit to the secondary coverage of the Shelley Russets. They have They gave up a little bit of running room early, but not enough to really for the Huskies to sustain any kind of drive. And the best defense for the Russets has been an offense that is time controlled. Out of the 24 minutes in the first half, they had 19 and a half minutes possession time. And so you're not giving the opposition too many opportunities to score. When we get back underway in a short time, it will be the Huskies receiving that kickoff. But so far, they have not been able to get much of a kick return. They've only had they had, I think, 3 completed passes on the one drive before the pickoff that gave Shelley the ball back and enabled them to be able to push this margin to 24-0 before the break. And I'm going to put it real honest. If the Huskies can't score on their opening possession, I don't think they're going to have enough possessions to score 24 points.
I don't think either, unless some magic happens on that defense. Once again, we've talked about them all year long. Has not been a defensive scoring team here from Emmett. It's mostly been relying on that high-powered offense, which, as we talked about earlier, is the 5th ranked in the state for offense, but has been absolutely dominated here tonight, not getting anything done. If you're in the halftime room with Emmett and you're looking at your team and your target, what's kind of going through your head? What's kind of the the thing you're going to be saying to your team to try to turn this around?
Well, I think you've got to go back to the basics of, guys, we have to execute one play at a time because they've got to string together some of those nicely executed offensive plays, particularly since they get the first possession of the second half. If they're unable to do that at that point, then it goes back to a Shelley team that I am sure that Coach Josh has talked to them at halftime. He says, guys, just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. They're doing nothing wrong. They're running the ball well. They're running it whether it's up the middle or off the edge. Their line is dominating. And something we talked about earlier is this Shelley team doesn't play both ways. They are not going to be as physically exhausted as Emmett is going to be as we get closer to that fourth quarter. So something you have to keep in mind if you're Hargett is you got to score on the next 3 to 4 consecutive drives in order to get yourself in shape to possibly come back at the end.
And possibly, get a turnover to help in that process. But, the onus right now is on the Huskies. And the problem is when you're down 24-0, you're thinking home run ball constantly.
Right.
And you can't do that. You have to think each play, each player has to think executing the role that he's been given out there. And that's exactly what Shelley has done, and their play action passing has been very effective. Actually, I've been a little bit surprised by it because statistically, which we haven't been able to get any official statistics because they don't report them to Max Preps, but they've been a running team, and they came out and showed that on the first 3 possessions to get a 17-point lead. But they've had a couple of big passing plays that kept some of those drives going, and certainly was the entire factor on the last 1-minute drive to be able to pump it in.
It's something to keep in mind here. You can't help but wonder if Emmett possibly came into this game overlooking Shelley a little bit. Something you have to look at in conference play. Emmett was the second in the Southern Idaho Conference, right behind Bishop Kelly, whereas Shelley was actually the 4th-ranked team coming out of the High Country County. And
and that's a little bit deceiving because they were actually 3-way tie for second. They lost the tiebreaker to Blackfoot on the point differential because Hillcrest, Shelley, and Blackfoot beat each other in a round robin.
Yeah.
And so when Skyline knocked off Shelley in that championship game last week, it kind of opened it up and gave them an opportunity. But this is a team that's been very focused. And we were talking with the coaches. They really don't want to go to Sandpoint where they went last year in the quarterfinals. Sandpoint has an artificial surface field up there. But the word we get is it's got a pretty heavy concrete base to it and not a lot of give going beyond that. But it would be an interesting matchup by 2 teams that could pound each other on the ground. And, of course, that's what happened last year, a 21-14 Sandpoint win. Sandpoint went all the way to the finals before losing to Skyline. And here's where we got to give credit. You asked whether Emmett overlooks Shelley. I don't believe so. I mean, and they have been at Donnybrook all year long, and so that was a given, and we knew what was going to happen here tonight, but they haven't been able to do anything to stop it.
Well, and I think the Shelley offense has been a very deceiving one, at least looking at it statistically. As we talked about, they've been a running offense. Typically, running offenses don't put up that many points, and as we talked about earlier, they've only been averaging about 22 points a game and only letting their opponents score about 21 points a game. So typically they've been playing really close back and forth games that haven't looked this dominant. But as far as the eye test is telling me, this is a dominant, dynamic team, and as you talked about, they can pull out the pass if they need to, and they've done it very well tonight. Also, on the run game, they're very multidimensional, having more than one running back. They have 3 different ball carriers, and that's something we talked about. Plus the quarterback. And that's something we talked about that Emmett's struggling with a little bit tonight, is Rye Fullerton's really having to carry the
well, he hasn't touched the ball.
Share of the ball when running.
Yeah, they've had 4 possessions, and the last 2 of them have been entirely passing possessions, and most of the second one as well. So he had some yardage early, but that's been it. Dr. Hansen at River Valley Dental in Shelley has been serving patients for over 25 years. Dr. Hansen and Russet alum Dr. Tana Hyam are eager to serve you. The highly trained team at River Valley Dental works together to provide you with courteous and professional dental care in their most comfortable environment possible. They offer personalized treatments that will help you make an informed decision about your oral health. Dr. Hansen and Dr. Hyam at River Valley Dental, proud to support Shelley in the playoffs this year. Also so proud to support one of these teams out here, Mountain West Building Supply, big supporters of the Emmett Huskies. They have everything you need for your next project. Whether you're a professional contractor or a do-it-yourselfer, you can find what you need at Mountain West. Lumber, paint, hardware, and more. Located just 2 miles west of Emmett on Highway 52. Hop to it before the snow flies and get those projects done. Mountain West Building Supply, 365-7580.
Emmett will receive the kickoff here to start the second half. And you've got to expect them with being down 24, you have to expect them to come out with the passing game. That's what they've shown so far. I wonder if that could be a possible overlook on the side of Shelley if they open it up with a run, maybe a speed sweep off the end.
Well, and part of that is the key factor for speed sweeps for Emmett has been Isaac Brennan coming out of the slot receiver spot, and Isaac is not available for the Huskies tonight. He ran the opening kickoff against Ridgeview last week back 95 yards, but he pulled up for the last 5 yards of that 95-yard run, got into the end zone, but he pulled a hammy, and he's been going through physical therapy all week, and they just said he's not going to go this week. He hopes to get another opportunity as a junior, and certainly still has a lot of career here, and they're not going to take any chances with his long-term health, that's for sure.
Kick is up, and it's going to be Joe Loomis in the return. He's going to take it at the 7-yard line. He's going to get a big gap up the middle and return it all the way down to the 40-yard line.
He found a nice little slice up the middle to get it out across the 40. He had one man in front of him if he could have gotten beyond the two that gave him the pinch at the 40. But the Huskies with a decent field position to start this second half. And as we said, this first possession is going to be absolutely critical if Emmett wants this ball game to continue and to have any doubts as we go possibly to the fourth quarter. Handoff to Fullerton right up the middle. He spins, breaks a tackle. He's to the 40. He's to the 30. He's going to take it inside the 20-yard line. Cuts back, breaks the tackle inside the 15-yard line. So Rye Fullerton flips the script on your prescription, and the Huskies use a running play to pick up 40 yards and move it into the red zone for the first time tonight. They have that football at the Shelley 13-yard line.
And you cannot help but feel like this Husky offense came out with a vendetta. They were done not moving the ball.
Maybe somewhat embarrassed. Handoff again to Fullerton, straight ahead. He'll get another 4 yards. Let's see. No, the official backs up now, and they're going to say his knee went down at the 12, so only a gain of about 2, maybe 3, about 2 yards it looks like on the give to Fullerton.
Well, it's one of those things after you pull off a run like that, you might need to take a little bit of a breath, and they didn't give him much of one, so... Handoff's going to go to Fullerton again. He's going to run out the outside. He beats the defender but gets shoestring tackled by number 24. That's Austin Cannon on the shoestring tackle to save what could have been a touchdown.
Yeah, he would have certainly been pushing on first down yardage inside the 5, but he gets tripped up and dropped at the 11-yard line. So only a 1 yard gain on those 3 yards in the last 2 carries that looked like they had good promise to begin with. So great defensive response by Shelley. Fullerton is going to take it to the left side. He breaks it back inside, and he's going to be close but maybe shy of the first down. I think they're going to place him at the 5. He's got to get it to the 4, I believe. So it'll be fourth down coming up for the Huskies. Definitely got to be 4 down territory.
It has to be. There is no other option at this point. If you cannot commit a touchdown here, it's looking very dire for the offense. So it's about 4th and 1. Handoff's going to go to Scheibe again.
No, Fullerton, yes.
Again.
And Fullerton, did he get in? No, he got to the 1. But it'll be a 1st and goal for the Huskies at the 1 yard line. So Emmett, in the span of
about a minute
just
and
over
a half.
We're inside 2 minutes now because we are inside the 10, but in 2 minutes they've come back, and Fullerton's going to dive into the end zone, and he's got the touchdown.
So once again, we talked about this at the half. What we were worried about is the one-dimensional side of the Huskies offense that we had seen toward the end of that first half. And Coach Hargett flips the script on us, goes with an entire run plan. In fact, Perry didn't pull up to throw the ball one time. It was handoff to Rye Fullerton every time, and Rye takes it the full length of the field for the touchdown.
Tucker Welling in to kick for the Huskies. Ball be placed at the 10-yard line. It's down, and it looks like it's up and good, and it is. And the Huskies, in 2.5 minutes, have gotten on the board. They still have a long ways to go in this one, but they've shown life. And again, the surprise there to some degree is an all-run push, 60 yards on the drive for the Huskies to get on the board. And now the question is, can the defense stop Shelley?
That's been the question all night long. They've only held them one time, and it just hasn't been an option. So I'm loving the life we're seeing from Emmett right now. I could definitely see the defense being fired up after their offense just had that incredible drive.
Well, it's the same players to a large degree, so the adrenaline's going to be shared. But how long will that adrenaline stay up is the question mark. So back deep, we've got Riker Klinger. This is only the second kick return for the Shelley. They got the opening kickoff in the ball game and actually started up at the 40-yard line. And Logan Smith is also back there. He's the only one who has returned to kick so far in this ball game for Shelley. Let's see, towing it up to do the kicking for Emmett.
Number 5?
No, bigger numbers than that. I'm trying to... Kickoff is coming.
It's a line drive.
End over end. That's going to be left on the ground back at the at the 14-yard line, and doing a good job to simply cover it and not give it up was Riker Klinger. That could have been a disaster for Shelley if they lost that kickoff, but Klinger got on it, and it'll be at the 17-yard line, 18-yard, 17-yard, 16-yard line.
Wow.
So Shelley will start deep in their own territory. That could have been a major momentum changer.
We do need to make a correction that we missed informed in the first half. The kicker for the Shelley
Luke Pasco.
Is Luke Pasco.
Yeah, and Luke has 6 points in the ball game because he has 3 extra points and a field goal. Yeah. Well, the first play is a 2-yard loss on the play by the Husky, by Shelley.
And once again, our favorite defensive end, Christian Sanchez, coming up with the stop again. He, 2 weeks ago, actually, here on this same field, actually ended up with our player of the game for having an outstanding performance. So it's great to see him back playing hard.
Russ, it's back to pass. Little screen pass out to Riker Klinger, and he's going to get knocked out of bounds for a short gain. He'll get close to the 20. It'll be about 3rd down and 7 coming up, I believe, for Shelley. So strangely enough, Shelley's throwing the football, and the Huskies are running the football, just exactly the opposite of what you expect with the time control that we saw in the first half.
Hey, Del, sometimes you just got to, as coaches, just make a handshake and switch playbooks. It's got to happen sometimes, and that seems to be what's happened so far here tonight.
Well, the Russets with a 3rd down and long, back at inside their own 20.
It's a double handoff
inside. So that was the old style that Valley View used, where the running back gets the handoff from the quarterback, then hands it to the other running back, and straight up the middle, and 1st down yardage all the way out to the 32-yard line. So it's a 12-yard pickup.
So though it's not a 3 and out, I actually love that light that Emmett has right now. It doesn't scare me that they give up this 1st down because they've been able to make stops so far. It's going to be a handoff once again off the left side, who's going to cut it back inside the tackle, and is only going to get about 3 yards on the carry.
Kidman gets it up to the 35-yard line. And, of course, for Shelley, it's a matter of possession. They don't care if they're making big yardage as long as they keep advancing those sticks and working the clock. We're down to 8 minutes and 23 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter with the Russets' first possession of the second half and trying to defend a 24-7 lead here.
As we talked about, Shelley is not a big scoring team, so they're already over their season average for scoring in the game.
Handoff goes to Johnson, and he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage. He gets forward. He's going to get forward progress of about 2 yards. Looks like it'll be third down and about 6 coming up for Shelley, as that pigskin's going to be dropped down about the 36-yard line.
We're out third and about 5. We'll call it a long 5, short 6.
Of course, for Russet fans on the far side of the field, which you can probably see with the camera here, we're on the home side, so you see the Shelley supporters behind the team over there. Rolling out the pass, Nelson stops, drops, throws up a pass, and is it picked off or is it not?
Dropped. Joe Loomis almost comes away with that ball. It just slips out of his fingers and falls between his legs.
That was intended for Ryder Klinger, and Loomis went up, had the position in front of him, but could not pull it down. But it will bring up 4th down and 6. And the Russets, they're not going to give up any extra field space here on a 4th down in their own territory. They're going to punt this one away. Let's see who the Huskies send back.
It looks like that's Stevie Howe. No, that's Walker.
Okay, so Brian Walker is back. Nice high.
No, that is
punt,
Stevie Howe.
And it is Howe that is back, and he's going to get away from it. And that ball's going to roll inside the 20 down to about the 17-yard line. We've only seen 2 punts from Shelley tonight, and both of them left the lighted part of the field here and went above the standards.
Not typically you see a punter with a leg like that in a high school team, but yeah, that was high. I would say 60, 70 feet up in the air.
Those are ones that you almost just want all of your receivers to say stay away from to begin with, because it was an end over end, and that's a tough one to bring down when it's coming from that far up. So the Huskies start at their own 17-yard line. Hand off to Fullerton. Fullerton's going to get across the 20 and out to about the 22, maybe the 23-yard line. We'll call it a 4-yard pickup for Fullerton on the carry.
So one adjustment I just noticed is that Christian Sanchez is actually lining up as the fullback right now and is leading the charge for Rye Fullerton, which could be why Rye got such a giant opening just in that last drive.
Sanchez, about 6'4", 225, somewhere in that range, a junior, playing with a torn ACL, and he has a metal ACL, we call it. He has a brace that's pretty hefty. He does the blocking there, and Fullerton will get another 3-4 yards. He'll get it out across the 25-yard line. Going to place it just across. So we'll call it a 3rd down and a long 2 coming up for the Huskies in their own territory. They're trailing this one by 17, 24-7, with 6:17 to go in the 3rd quarter. Fullerton takes it off tackle right. He's got 1st down yardage to the 30. All of a sudden, line play has changed from the first half.
And that's something we've seen all season long from the Emmett offensive line. That they start out slow, they start out battling, but as the game goes on, they tend to take over the game. And you're starting to see that happen now. They're starting to get some push at the line.
Handoff again to Fullerton, gets a tackle, breaks a tackle. He's across the 40. He'll get an 8-yard pickup, maybe almost 10. I mean, they're going to give him to the 41-yard line, so and they're going to give him the full 10. That's the signal from the field, so a 10-yard pickup for Fullerton, and the Huskies out across the 40.
Fullerton has been the answer so far here in the second half. He's gotten every single handoff, and he's going to continue that trend right now with another handoff.
He'll get a couple of yards, but we got a flag in the backfield.
If I had to guess, I think it's a holding call. It was behind the play.
Yeah, and it certainly came too late for it to be just a motion call of some type. So let's wait and see what the official call is from the field.
Yeah, and
Huskies
it will
would have
it
second and short. Instead, they're going to have it 1st down and about 20. Because it might be about 19, because they usually go from the point of the infraction where it looks like it was actually a yard behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to take it all the way back to the 9. No, they're going to put it right at the 30. So it'll be an 11-yard march off, essentially, from the line of scrimmage, where they have it as 2nd down.
It is 1st down. That is a mismark.
It
is a 1st down.
It should be still remain 1st down.
It is on the clock.
And the ball is fumbled, and it's on the ground, and Shelley has it, picking it up and trying to take it for yardage is number 15. That is That is C.J. Fielding, the safety who came up. Just a mishandled handoff as Perry kind of had a high snap, lost it. They couldn't find the handle. Fielding picks it up, takes it another 10 yards downfield, and Shelley has its second turnover of the ball game. And they are at the Emmett 17-yard line. And they are in a position right now where they can possibly put the final touches on this, even though we've still got 17 minutes to play.
That was absolutely heartbreaking for the Emmett Huskies. They do get this tackle right here after about a 3-yard gain. And
they were moving the ball, but they get a penalty, and they follow the penalty with a miscue. And playoff football, first off, you got to be penalty free, and you can't lose the turnover battle, and they're down 0-2 on that right now.
Well, and something else to keep in mind is that was the first time that ball was not handed off to Rye Fullerton. They try to go to Loomis. Loomis bumbles the handoff and loses the ball and just can't get back onto it because he's got a defensive player laying on top of him.
Handoff outside to Kidman. He'll get a yard, maybe 2. He's going to get inside the 15, it appears. It'll be third down coming up for the Russets. 4 minutes and 34 seconds. This clock in this game has moved so fast because of so much running, and part of it now, Huskies in the second half running the ball.
Yeah, and fortunately, they're going to start creating themselves their own. They're creating themselves their own biggest defense because now they've ran off the clock. The third quarter is almost over. We got 4 minutes left in the third quarter.
And you're down 17 points, and right now you're being threatened to possibly giving up some more. So it's third down at about 7 at the 15-yard line for Shelley. Nelson rolls out, fires it over the middle into the end zone, and I believe we have a touchdown completion. The official does indicate it. It's a touchdown pass as the Huskies were all over the field and were trying to see who came up with the ball and then falling back down on the ground on the far side.
84.
So that would be the wideout, 84, Michael Clegg, I believe, who comes up with the 15-yard touchdown reception.
And is now laying on the ground. So he was grabbing his knee. I wonder if he came down and just twisted it a little bit wrong when he was backpedaling.
3:55 remaining here in the third quarter, and Clegg with a 15-yard reception.
And now, unfortunately, even though Emmett has had such a good job running this second half, are now going to have to become one-dimensional again because you just don't have time to run the ball.
No, you have to score basically 4 times. I mean, you're going to be down 24 points here likely as Lucas Pascoe's been perfect on the extra points. So Clegg with the pass reception coming from quarterback Nate Nelson. So Nelson has a passing touchdown and 2 rushing touchdowns here. That was a great, well-executed play because they had the big man down there, and the Huskies were playing the run and got bit again. So Pascoe with the extra point attempt coming here with 3:55 to go in the third quarter. So Emmett's touchdown to start this quarter has been matched now, and we're back to the 24-point margin we had at the intermission as Pascoe hits the extra point. It's 31-7. Shelley on top of the Huskies, and Emmett will be getting the kickoff return here shortly, but they are in a deep hole if they want to extend their season.
Positive note, Michael Clegg did end up walking off under his own power after the end of that play. It looks like to me it was more of a cramp. He walked off. He's walking fine. He's got his helmet back on. It looks like he's about to come back into the game. So,
well, he got up and moved around, and that's always a big factor in this one. Hannigan Auto Salesman, locally owned and operated for nearly a century in Emmett. At Hannigan Auto Sales and Service, they can take care of everything before, during, and after the sale. In-house financing, full-service auto detailing, and full-service auto repair, including diesel repair. They are now buying used cars, not just trading them, they're buying them outright. You give them a call at 365-5050 or stop in at Hannigan Auto Sales and Service on Washington Avenue in Emmett. Ready to kick it off. The Russets with a 31-7 lead, and the bouncing pass the kick is going to be chased down at the 5-yard line by Loomis. Had a hard time getting a handle on it. He's going to get back to the 15 and now out to the 20 into the 24-yard line. And talk about full scramble, but it took him about 5 seconds to get a handle on that football.
Unfortunately, there is a flag down around the 35. You can't quite see it on your screen, but I think it's going to be a holding call on the return team. In high school football, you're not actually allowed to just lay on top of the defender after you knock them down. You have to roll off of them and allow them to get back into the play. So that's going to be a holding call on Emmett, which will walk the ball back about...
No, well, it's going to be back inside the 15, probably back close to the 10-yard line.
It's going to be a 10-yard walk-off. So, unfortunately, that entire return by Loomis is wiped out.
Instead of being at the 21 or 22, the Huskies will start this drive with 3:46 to go in the third quarter, trailing by 24, and they started at their own 11-yard line. Hand off to Fullerton, breaks the tackle. He's across the 20. He's going to get another tackle break to the 25, to the 30, and he rolls out of bounds at about the 34-yard line, 33-yard line. So a big gain at 23 yards for Rye Fullerton. He's probably starting to near the 100-yard mark again for the season.
He's actually over. I think he's around 112 on the game so far.
And most of that here in the second half, but they need a lot more of that and quick. Perry, high snap. Going to fire it out into the flat. Gets his receiver on a little screen to Howe, and Howe's going to get 2-3 yards. And the way the Shelley bench was jumping, I thought maybe we had a fumble or not, but they're just happy they brought him down for a 2-3 yard gain.
I think the ball popped out for just a second, but I think the officials already marked him down by contact, so it does not matter.
So it'll be second down and about 7.5, 8 yards to go for the Huskies in their own territory. They're going to fire it out in the flat. They were trying to get it out to Howe, and a great defensive effort jumping up in front of that play. He was actually defending a different receiver, but jumping up and making contact was number 20. That is Chance Waite, and Waite knocks that down. And the Husky passing game has just not shown up here tonight.
It hasn't, and Rye Fullerton is doing his darndest to get this team back into the game, but he needs a little help. They got to get something going in the passing game. Perry has got to wake up and get his receivers into the game.
He gets it out to Walker, and Walker's going to get the first down yardage across the 45-yard line to the 46, so a little rollout. And again, you just got to keep mixing it up. They're moving the sticks, and they cannot afford another turnover, though. Those 2 turnovers have both been costly, as Shelley has responded from each of them with touchdowns.
Bottom of your screen is number 9. That's Kenyon Carter.
Carter is in there. The handoff goes to Fullerton, and Fullerton drives forward for about 3. We'll get him to the 48-yard line. 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Again, Huskies needing 4 scores, essentially. 3 touchdowns and a field goal just to tie this one. So you kind of feel they've got to get in the end zone before this quarter runs out, and there's not a lot of left. Rolling out is Perry, looking downfield. He floats one up there, and it's looking for Walker, and it's in fact it was overthrown and batted away. Defensively, I believe that was Wade in there again. Shelley has some nice-sized quarterbacks. They've got some 6'3s and 6'2s, and that's one thing the Huskies are shy on. Stevie Howe is the tallest receiver, right around 6 foot, and they do not have that height. And the Kenyon Carter is a speedster out at the bottom of your screen. 3rd down and 7 for the Huskies, nearing midfield. Perry rolls out. Has someone in his face. He's going to fire downfield. He's not going to get anybody there. He had 4 men on the Howe, it looks like.
And Howe goes down hard, holding his leg. That would be a crippling blow to the Huskies if Howe can't get back into this game.
If he doesn't, because even if he's just a decoy, because everyone's going after him, and this is where the Huskies have struggled a little bit the last couple of ball games, is looking deep for Howe and not looking for that second opportunity. When you look down there and there's 3 or 4 of the defenders chasing your one man, you got to think somebody is open somewhere else. And Howe is not getting up. He's still laying on the field.
As we said, that would be a crippling blow because right now the only thing that Emmett's really got running right now is that running game by Rye Fullerton. Yeah. And Joe Loomis has been on the sideline now for the last 6 plays. I've just been noticing that. I'm wondering if it's because of some pain or if it's just trying to change out the personnel and get some fresher bodies. As we talked about before, Emmett runs 9 players both sides of the ball, and you're starting to see that lethargicism come through.
Well, that may be a factor in Howe getting some attention in the end zone down here as he's stretched out. And the Huskies already without their second wide receiver of the year, Isaac Brennan, who went down with the hamstring injury last week. So he has not been there as a second option to Howe. And we're now got a couple of receivers in who've played most of their season as JV receivers and JV players, not on the varsity. And if you lose Howe there, I don't know how you score 4 touchdowns with a running game only in 15 minutes or 16 minutes.
I don't think it's possible. I think now, that being said, Rye Fullerton has broken off some big runs here in the second half, but you're kind of going to become one-dimensional, and if you do that, it becomes so much easier to defend. So
it'll be interesting. You know, since 2008, Adrenaline Performance in Shelley has been the place to go for all your automotive needs. They offer a full-service mechanic shop with the best customer service you can find. Everyone at Adrenaline Performance wishes the Russets, good luck in today's game, as does Matthews Plumbing. They've been in business since 1947. And at Matthews Plumbing, they can service new or existing homes. Matthews Plumbing has been serving the Shelley community for over 70 years. Matthews Plumbing's wanting to wish the Russets good luck in tonight's game, and they've certainly played it out, luck or not. They have played a dominant game here so far tonight and have a 31-7 lead. And the Huskies now faced with 4th down and 7. Perry is alone in the backfield with nothing but rookie receivers out there, and he gets a reception
to Rye Fullerton. So
you bring Fullerton
out.
Oh,
wait, no, sorry, it's 27.
27, okay, that's Quentin Smith coming up with the reception. I believe that may be Quentin's first reception of the season. And so the Huskies do get a first down with 1:41 to go. And I'm looking down trying to figure out if I really never did see.
Howe limped off the field under his own command, but he probably will not be coming back into this game. He looked over at Coach and shook his head no.
Well, it's that throws another kink in this one. Handoff to Fullerton. He's going to be stopped for just a couple of yard gain there. He tried to skip off to the left side, but the Shelley defenders doing a good job. Even though there was some blocking, they're able to slide off the blocks and stop him for about a 3-yard gain. 39-yard line is where the Huskies have it. The Shelley 39, 1:06 remaining in the third quarter. Again to Fullerton, and boy, this time he went down like a bale of hay. I mean, he was just chopped right at the line of scrimmage. He does pick up a yard, but he went straight down with a lot of contact there. 3rd down and 6 coming up now for the Huskies at the Russet 38-yard line.
Number 34, that was Stephen Jones on the tackle there.
Fullerton, the lone back, along with the quarterback Perry in the backfield. Perry going to fire it out into the flat. Nice move made on the far side.
Stevie Howe back in the game.
You're kidding.
I'm not. That's number 18, Stevie Howe back in the game.
Just a minute. Is it 18 or is it 19, his little brother? It is Howe back in the game.
Back in the game. So even though he's still limping right now, he's powering through and running that and catching that ball for the first down.
So he gets first down yardage inside the 30, all the way down to about the 27. The clock is running down to 9 seconds. I think Huskies want to get another play off before the quarter expires. Or not. They're taking their time. Yes, they'll take the snap, handoff to Fullerton. No, Perry's going to keep it. Rolls out to the right, and he fires it right into the hands of Daniel Walker, and Walker cannot hold on to it. He would have been short of the first down, but might have had some running room. But we have completed 3 quarters of play here in Emmett, And the Shelley Russets have not given any ground after having a 24-0 lead at the intermission. They still lead it by 24. The score 31-7. Shelley and Emmett trying to find some way to score 4 times here in the last 12 minutes of this ball game.
A hit in the morning, another between class, after school, and more before bed. Vaping sucks you in quick. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems everyone's talking about. That's why thousands of teens are ready to take back their life their own way with My Life, My Quit. When you sign up with us, you'll get a free and simple quit plan that makes it easier to stop vaping. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
We're back at 20 Villanueva Field at Husky Stadium in Emmett, Idaho, where the Shelley Russets looking to try to advance to the quarterfinals for the second consecutive year in the 4A state playoffs. And they are trying to do it on the road. They are the 10th seed. The Huskies are the 6th seed in the 16-team playoff. And right now they have the advantage, but the Huskies have the football, trailing by 24, but in Shelley territory at the 32. Pass out to the near side to Stevie Howe. He'll get it inside the 25-yard line. Only about a 4, maybe 5-yard pickup on the quick hitter. And Howe limping rather dramatically as he goes back in, but he's not coming out.
And you can only assume that's the senior going, Coach, it's my last game possibly.
Yeah. Well,
let me play it out.
He's a 3-sport athlete. He's a basketball starter and a baseball player as well. So he's all for the sport, that's for sure. Perry under traffic, gets it out to again. Howe breaks the tackle, gets inside the 15, down to about the 12-yard line. Made a man miss at about the 18, and another first down and getting out of bounds, stopping the clock. So we've only played 13 seconds now of the fourth quarter, and the Huskies have moved about 30 yards to get it. Looks like right at about, they're going to say it's inside the 10. It's first and goal. Handoff to Fullerton. Fullerton dives forward to the 5.
And I would suspect that this is going to be Rye Fullerton taking it in. They can't risk throwing an interception and not getting these points here.
Yeah, and the same side, they can't risk having to take 3 runs at it in a minute and a half to do it.
Right, there is that clock game that Emmett now has to think about. Handoff's going to go again to Fullerton, who's going to go up the middle, and he's going to get stuffed at the line of scrimmage.
Well, they only gave him a yard on the last play. I thought he dove all the way to the 5, and they only gave him to the 9, and now they've moved the sticks to about the 7-yard line. So it's third and goal for the Huskies at the 7. So the Russets getting stingy here in the red zone. We're inside 11 minutes to play in the ball game.
Pitch to Fullerton.
Back to Fullerton, and he's going to be swarmed and knocked down at the 10-yard line. So the Huskies trying to go back to the inside game, and Shelley is sold out for stopping the run. Now, of course, on 4th and 10, you have to think it's going to be a pass option of some type. But the Huskies, they cannot turn it over here on downs and have any hope of winning this ball game.
No, this is the play of the game. If they do not score here, the game is essentially over.
And maybe it's been over for a while. We just never know what can happen in high school football. Perry rolls back to his left in traffic, fires a sidearm that's deflected off of a Russet and nearly received in the end zone. Diving for that, I believe, was Daniel Walker, but he cannot come up with it, and the ball turns over to the Shelley Russets. Russets 90 yards away. In the second quarter, they were 92 yards away, and they drove 6.5 minutes to score and used up the majority of the second quarter. And if they can do that here, they might as well punch their ticket for either going home to host Skyview or getting back on a bus and making an even longer trip next week up to Sandpoint. In the first handoff, nice running play. I do not expect to see a passing play, but I've not expected a lot of the things we've seen here tonight. That was a run by Riker Klinger that picks up about 5 yards. Do we have a flag on the play?
Yeah, we have a flag right at the end of the play, which I can only assume is against the Emmett Huskies, and it looks like, it's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct by the defense.
So that'll be a 15-yard march off. Just when you need the big one last chance, they've given it up. And penalties have been a factor for the Huskies on a number of occasions this year when they've either killed their offensive drives or allowed the opposition to sustain drives. And do we have timeout being called on the field? I believe the Huskies are calling timeout. Coach Hargett wants to talk to his players and say, guys, we can't be this sloppy at this point. 10 minutes to go in the ball game, a 31-7 lead for the Shelley Russets. And like I said, right now they look like they're ready to advance to the quarterfinals for the second year in a row. Brulams and Shelley is proud to support the Shelley boys at state this year and wish them good luck. Go Russets. From everyone at Brulams, M. Shelley. You know, Lava Hot Springs is your destination for a fun and relaxing day, whichever you choose. I mean, you can just go for a little bit or for a long day. Just 11 miles off of I-15, their world-famous hot springs are open now from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and on weekends, Fridays and Saturdays till 11 o'clock. The all-natural geothermal hot springs, always a warm 102 to 112 degrees, so you can come and soak your worries away. Their indoor aquatic center with the Kiddie Cove open Fridays and Saturdays noon to 8 p.m., Sundays noon to 5 with special weekend hours. Visit lavahotSprings.com for more information and calendar of hours. Handoff inside, looks like it was going to get nothing, and then it becomes something. Driving forward, that is Johnson. Cade moves out across the 35, gets it to about the 37. We're going to call it a healthy 6-yard pickup by Johnson. So second and short coming up for Shelley at their own 36-yard line. And they're not concerned about that. They're just running clock at this point. They got it with 10 minutes to go in the ball game. They're going to hand it off inside. The Husky defense swarms and makes a stop. They're not going to allow any yardage to be picked up on that rushing attempt. Trying to move it forward was Klinger.
Something to keep in mind, right now I would love one of those hot springs because it has gotten chilly here tonight, and that's something to take into a factor. When it gets cold like this, that's when players get hurt because your muscles get tightened up, and when you get hit hard with a tight muscle, that's when you get breaks and sprains and torn ligaments.
So far tonight, it appears cramps have been our biggest issue. We're not exactly sure what Howell was down with, but he's been back in the game. Handoff on the outside to Kidman, and he's going to be there for the first down. And then more, and he's fumbled the ball.
And Emmett has picked up the ball.
Emmett has taken possession at the 48-yard line. So the Huskies, maybe a glimmer of life.
Number 24 jumps on it. That's Shane Daniels, the junior, picking up that fumble recovery for the Huskies. And
that was the case. The Kidman got the first down yardage, but he wanted more, and he got about another 5 and was still trying to break tackles and lost possession. So the Huskies get their first turnover possession.
And not only that, but you're going to have a late hit being called on Shelley, so that'll tack on an extra 5 yards.
So they'll be marching that one off.
Oh, sorry, that's a 10-yard penalty. That's a
personal foul. 15 they're marching off.
You're right.
And so that's all of a sudden the Huskies get this possession at the 33. Now they have the ball first and goal inside the 10 and couldn't do anything with it in the last possession. And they're going to have to score quick. 8:41 to go, and they trail by 24. Handoff? No, not a handoff to Fuller. It's a nice quick hit to Stevie Howe from Perry, and he's inside the 10-yard line.
Howe, going down just a few minutes ago, has come back into this game and said, nope, I'm not done yet, guys. He's still limping a little bit, but he is powering through, and that's what they need from the senior. Down once again to the 10-yard line. It's first and goal for the Huskies.
But they got to punch it in and punch it in quick. Fullerton beside, he's going to get the handoff. No, it's going to be a pass out into the flat, taking it in. Does Howe get in, and he gets the touchdown. 9-yard pass completion for a touchdown from Perry to Howe. That is Perry's 33rd touchdown pass of the season and the 20th touchdown reception of the season for Stevie Howe.
Now, as much as that is a celebration, you have to look at it. You're down 13 to 31, hopefully making it 14, but you almost question maybe you go for 2 on this.
Well, you'd have to do that 3 times
And
to
Perry
make up
is
for the field goal,
lined up.
and that's what they're looking to do. Handoff, no. Perry rolls out to the right, fires into the flat. It'll be intercepted and picked off, and, of course, in high school you can't advance it. So the Huskies come up short there. They were going with the idea if we can score 3 touchdowns and make them all 2-point conversions, there's our 24. Now the field goal's out of the question. You got to score 3 more touchdowns.
Yep.
They're down 18.
With 8:13 left in the half, and you have to assume you're going to onside kick this.
Yeah.
The hand seam is going to come out because they haven't had any success really stopping Shelley. That last drive only ended because of a fumble at the end of a long run, and they weren't showing any signs of stopping. So you've got to assume it's going to be an offside kick, and Shelley is also lining up for an onside kick.
On the other side of it, the Huskies have kicked the ball deep a few times, and Shelley's had a hard time handling it, and particularly here in the second half. I wonder if the cold, and maybe there's even some moisture starting to build up down on the field, that's becoming a factor here in the second half.
Well, I'm wearing gloves, and I can't feel my fingers anymore, so.
31-13 with 8:13 to go. A lot of 13s up there on the board, one way or the other. And looking at the way the kicker's lined up, he's a short kick. I mean, he doesn't look like he's kicking deep. He does. He gets the bounce pass over to the near side, and it's going to go out of bounds at about the 47-yard line. He actually got the bounce that he wanted, but it wasn't able to get a teammate there to grab it before it went out of bounds.
No, unfortunately, it was just kicked a little bit too hard. It was going too fast for his kicking team partner to come get it. But so it's going to be out of bounds, which is going to be, I believe, a 10-yard walk off from the point of the.
It depends on where it is. They went out of bounds at the 47, and it's just a 5-yard march off. So it comes into Emmett territory at the 48. So the 1st and 10 for Shelley in Emmett territory at the 48. They have a 31-13 lead with 8 minutes and 13 seconds remaining here in the football game. Handoff to Kidman. He takes it left, trying to roll it outside. He gets around the corner, and he's got first down yardage inside the 40. Kidman's going to get all the way to the 37-yard line, it appears. So about 11, 12-yard pickup on the going back to the bread and butter that served them in their first 2 drives of the ball game that took up so much time. The wide out runs, right, left, student body rights, if you want to call it, in the old USA tradition. But out of that wing T, they've been very, very effective running the ball and controlling the ball tonight. Handoff into the middle and moving straight ahead, I believe, is Klinger. Double check that. But another first down run. So this looks like the first drive of the ball game. That was Kidman again. And he gets it down to about the 23-yard line.
And this is just what we talked about. They're just running out the clock, but the problem is Huskies can't stop the run game, so they're just getting huge chunks off every single run.
And part of that is defensive. You're going for the ball right now rather than the player too often, and you're missing the tackle, and that's. You almost have to do that because Huskies really need to get turnovers. And now the quarterback, Nelson, is taking his time. He's watching the clock. They're going to use every second they can with every possession as they have it 1st and 10 at the 24, and they're going to get a yard or 2 on that quick carry. That was Riker Klinger that time. Klinger's actually going to check out of the ball game now. And
Johnson's going to come
Johnson
back in.
comes back in. I mean, they can shuttle about 4 different running backs and move them around. But to me, the difference tonight, yes, they've had a great running game for everybody, but it's been the play-action passing of Nate Nelson that has been just comes up with the big play at the right time. Touchdowns, first downs, just some very good passing from Nelson out of the play action. And right now he's playing the commander out on the field and running that clock. Handoff goes to the right side, pick up about 4 yards, maybe down to the 19-yard line. That dive made, I believe, by Johnson.
Yep, that was Johnson on the carry. And once again, you can see at the end of every single play, Nelson is looking up at that clock, seeing when the clock starts rolling again from when the ball is placed, and is counting out that 30 seconds.
6 minutes and 3 seconds, and the clock continuing to roll. It's 3rd down and 4 for Shelley at the Emmett 18-yard line. They send one wide receiver out, so you have to honor it because they've been effective with that play action. And now Shelley runs the clock all the way down and takes the timeout. That's the first timeout they've taken second half. They used a couple of them early in the first half, so they've still got timeouts left, 2 of them in fact. In fact, both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. But that's not a factor. The big factor is there's 5:47 to go in this ball game, and it's an 18-point spread. And Shelley with the lead and the football, they're in 4-down territory where they are right now, I would think.
Right. At this point, you're so far into Emmett territory, there's no real reason to punt or kick the ball. You've got the lead. Just keep running and keep doing what's doing. It's 3rd down and 5 coming up here, but I don't see the play changing at all.
They're actually close enough that Luke Pascoe could be looked at for a field goal, but I'm not sure you attempt a field goal with the risk of having it blocked. Now in high school, can you return a blocked punt?
A blocked field goal can be returned
An
in
extra
high
point
school.
cannot.
An extra point cannot. So if they kick the field goal, they can block it and return that. And
so that would be the one risk of trying to just add 3 more points and make it. And that only makes it a 21-point game. So Emmett still would be three scores away. But it's not going to matter because they're going to get the pass completion to Kidman, and Kidman's going to get first down yardage inside the 10 down to the 7-yard line. And right now there's Shelley Russets running out this clock. And again, another play action pass out to the side from Nelson. He's hit Kidman. He's hit his wide receivers a couple of times. And certainly putting a bid to be in consideration for our Idaho State Transportation Department player of the game that we'll be choosing here up in,
about 5.5 minutes.
Well, that's on the clock. It may take a little longer, but not much the way this clock has been running tonight. Nelson under center. Rolls back, steps back, hands it off. Driving straight forward is Johnson, and Johnson's going to get down inside the 3-yard line. Let's see, they're going to put him all the way to the 2.
Yeah, they're going to mark him down at the 2. So
2nd and goal coming up for Shelley as they're trying to add to that 18-point lead. And like I said, if you felt there was any question about this one, I'm not sure they want to score immediately. I think they want to take more time.
I think you want to use all 4 downs here to score from the 2. It's only 2nd and 2, and as much as you want to, I mean, let's be honest here, though. A touchdown really does put this game away.
Yeah, and not getting it isn't going to necessarily give that much life back either. Good stand by the Husky defense there. They're going to get nothing. In fact, maybe. I look at the official on the far side of the field, and he looks like he's at the 3. The one at the near is at the 2, and it looks like the ball's at the 2. 4:14, clock is rolling. There will be under 4 minutes before the Russets have to snap this one. And the Huskies just got in a hole in the first half with not being able to execute their offense, and then the turnovers in the second half when they finally got their offense going, they just kind of kept them at bay. And even though they were able to take advantage of a turnover late, they weren't able to do anything with it. Johnson trying to get in, and he's going to be pushed back. They're going to give him forward progress to the 1 or maybe even inside that. But it'll be 3rd down coming up as Johnson was stood up and pushed back.
Kalen Conklin on the stop there. He met him right at the line and just drove him straight back.
3 minutes 30. We're looking at being probably under 3 minutes before, or down to about 3 minutes before this snap coming up. It's 4th and goal for Shelley at the 1. And this is one of those you're going, okay, we score, we go up, by 24 again or 21. I guess a touchdown would be 24 again. And it's cake. The other side, if we don't, Emmett's got 99 yards to go.
Right.
To try to set up a 3-touchdown rally.
Right, and they're going to take a timeout here at 3 minutes and 4 seconds left in the game. And unfortunately, you hate to say it, but at this point, I feel like the game is kind of over.
It's not kind of. It's, like I said, we've been saying most of the second half. It would take some kind of a miracle. A turnover or a rash of turnovers. So they got 1, but not enough, and they had a couple of their own as far as the Huskies were concerned. So a tremendous effort here tonight by the Shelley Russets. They came out, they were prepared, they used a lot of personnel, and that has shown. They have pounded their way down the field. We don't have any official statistics as far as the yardage. But time of possession, probably 3-1.
Oh, at least.
Yeah, at least. And the Huskies, like I said, you have to look back and say, with the success we had rushing for a couple of possessions in the second half, if we'd had that early, would that have changed this? After their first drive stalled after running fairly successfully, they really moved to a full passing attack for the next 3 possessions and got nowhere. And do we have a touch? No, we do not have a touch. Well, one of the Shelley ball players are saying touchdown. The officials on the near side are not saying touchdown. They're saying...
No,
they did.
The line judge on this side did say touchdown.
They
so
finally did give.
Touchdown.
Okay, and I'm not exactly sure who went in with that, if that was the quarterback again.
I think that was the quarterback keeper from Nelson, exactly.
So Nelson with his third 1-yard run of the night. He has a passing touchdown as well. 3 minutes, or actually 2:59 to go in the ball game. Pasco's extra point, looking for his 5th of the ball game, I believe. It's good. Pasco with 8 points in the game, kicking that. And the score is now 38-13 in favor of the Russets as they move out to their biggest lead of the ball game, 25, because the Huskies came up short on their 2-point conversion a short time ago. So 2:59 to go, and now it's just a matter of pride trying to get back on the board maybe one more time for this season. For the Huskies, like I said, it's been a great year, 7-2 in conference play for the third consecutive year, actually in the regular season. And but for the second consecutive year, they've lost in the first round of the playoffs here at home. And it's been a rushing team that has brought them down. Last year it was Nampa that put together an attack that put up 37 points to beat them 37-29.
Here at home.
Here at home. And not something that they've seen that often. And they're going to lose some great talent. There's a lot of young kids, sophomores and juniors, that play quite a bit for Emmett, but they're certainly going to lose Perry and Fullerton and Howe, and those three have been a lot of their statistics all year long. Huskies take the kick and return it out to about the 33-yard line. That was Joe Loomis with the return. Loomis, another senior in this group. Both these teams have a number of seniors on them, but looking at when I did the breakdown, the defense for Shelley, I believe, has 6 seniors and 5 sophomores and juniors, 3 of those sophomores. And 2 of those actually started as freshmen last year, so some great experience even though they're young. And you have to think that the future is still strong for these Shelley's Russets, and certainly this season is strong as they've got time to go. Handoff to Fullerton, and he gets hit at the line of scrimmage. In fact, behind the line of scrimmage, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. And with 2:43 to go, you almost feel the Huskies are kind of conceding the ball game now and just going to run it down as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think this is the admission of defeat. This is the waving of the white flag. You can't expect to come back running the ball. Now, that being said, they've got 4 wideouts here, so maybe take a look downfield. It's going to be a pass. Perry drops back. He's going to get the quick shot out to number 27.
Yep, Quentin Smith gets the reception. He'll pick up 5 on the play to the 40-yard line, make it 6. And but we're now inside the 2-minute mark, and the Huskies have a long ways to go. 3rd down and 3 at their own 40, trailing 38-13. See if they can get one more on the board. Maybe we can have one more connection between Perry and Howe to finish their senior seasons that have been so outstanding. Like I said, right now Perry with 33 passing touchdowns this season, Howe with 20 pass receptions, both of those school records. From a team that we thought we weren't sure where we were going to be offensively this year. Last year, Caden Young was the quarterback. He was the 4A state player of the year. Took him to the state finals his junior season, and last year seemed to be cruising right along, and they stumbled in this same round a year ago, but they graduated young and running backs, and it looked like it was we had a lot of new faces, but they came together and put together what is still a very respectable 7-3 season it appears it's going to be. And I know they're going to be disappointed this didn't go beyond tonight, but that's what football's about, and you've got to come out every night and you've got to execute, as we talked at halftime, every play, and that certainly wasn't the case here. Down inside 2 minutes and 1:55 to go. Perry with the handoff to Fullerton, and Fullerton breaks a tackle, and he's going to be close to the first down, but I believe shy about a yard. So it'll be fourth down coming up for the Huskies. And now the official is signaling first down on the far side.
Okay.
Whatever. A couple times we've seen that tonight go in each direction. Well, that was a 9-yard pickup, but they give him a 10. Fullerton with another handoff. He's going to go straight forward and get 6-7 yards right to the midfield stripe.
And unfortunately, that's kind of the nature of high school football in general. Any team can show up on any day and beat any team. And, unfortunately, coming into this, we had the Emmett Huskies as the favorite. But as we talked about, Shelley showed up and played a fantastic ball game, both offensively and defensively. Now the snap goes over Perry's head, and Rye Fullerton just has to fall on it to end.
And a big loss, about a 10-yard loss or a 9-yard loss, back to the 41-yard line, and the clock continues to roll with 1:20. And it's been those kind of miscues all night. Even if they weren't full turnovers, we've had a number of those just misconnections. And you can't have those if you want to advance to take a shot at a state championship. And the snap, this time a little low, but Perry comes up with it, gets it out into the flat to Stevie Howe. And Heil will get the reception and a pickup of about 6-7 yards. But it'll bring up fourth down and 9 for the Huskies at their own 46-yard line. Make it fourth down and 8 from the 46. So this could be the last play of the offensive season for the Huskies. Pass goes out. Of course, you can't ever say that when Howe's, was it a completion?
It was Howe on the field, so he can.
No, it was.
He's going to
it
get
was
a catch.
Howe.
Yep. So it will be a first down.
So another completion to Stevie Howe out across the inside the 45-yard line. We have 34 seconds remaining here in the ball game. The win-loss of this is not in doubt. The final score may be a little bit up in the air. Let's see. Perry rolls back to the left side. He's going to fire down the field and again finds Howe to the near side. He plays those crossing routes, gets a position, goes out of bounds with it at the 34-yard line. Enough, I believe, for another first down. Yes, it is. And so with 28 seconds to go, we said, will it be the Perry-Howe connection, trying to get one more just for the road?
I mean, at this point, might as well make that school record stand for a while, you know what I mean?
Well, the old record had been 21 for us passing touchdowns in the season, so it's been broken and then some, with 33 right now by Perry. He's looking downfield, has a man open, he's going to be picked off. They were looking again to Howe. Howe looked to be wide open, but setting back and playing center field and picking that off on the far side. I'm not exactly sure who did that for the Russets.
That was actually Kenyon Carter was the intended
receiver. Oh, it was Kenyon Carter out there. Okay,
he was wide open, but the receiver the defender read it absolutely perfectly.
He saw that he was wide open, and he just timed it perfect. So another pass interception thrown here tonight. And
if this is anything but a kneel, I will be shocked.
Yeah, with 21 seconds to go. Yeah, I think we have just about finished this one up here as we have a change of possession. Are you ready for winter? It's coming, and the helpful place for your building and hardware needs is Gem Supply and Building Co-op in Emmett. Wood pellets now in stock and ready for pickup. Come see Lori and the gang at Gem Supply Co-op. The nursery is pretty much done, but Christmas trees are arriving November 22nd. So get ready at Gem Supply Building Co-op, North Washington in Emmett. And it is, as we predicted, a knee, and that's exactly what Shelley has done, and they have posted an impressive 38-13 win over the Emmett Huskies to end the number 6 ranked Huskies season and to push The Russets into the quarterfinals of the 3A state championships. We'll try to check some scores when we take a break here. They'll be playing next week either at home against Skyview if the Hawks were to upset Sandpoint tonight. But more likely by the numbers, Shelley will be headed all the way to North Idaho to take on the Bulldogs for the second consecutive year on the road in Sandpoint in the quarterfinals. We'll try to get that all marshaled out for you and come back with our Idaho Transportation Department player of the game when we return.
I know a little something about myths. Like the myth that speeding isn't dangerous. Oh, and that myth you can tailgate at a safe distance. Or that you could safely weave in and out of traffic. Don't be fooled by myths. You'll get yourself into a hairy situation. Stay focused on the road. Be a legend like me. Have you heard the one about Shelley over at Pay Lake?
Look at that. The unmistakable swagger of someone fully covered with health insurance through Your Health Idaho.
Health yeah!
Enroll by December 15th and you could qualify for quality health insurance starting at $0 a month.
I'm Rick. I live here in Rupert. The more that we can keep the virus under control, the better for everyone, and especially people with disabilities that comes with being aged, because usually have other underlying issues. I actually suffer from diabetes now, so that even increases my odds that if I do get the virus, it could be devastating for me.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy. It takes courage and determination to do hard things. Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
If a pedestrian is hit by a car going 20 miles per hour, there's a 90% chance he will survive. At 30 miles per hour, the likelihood of survival decreases to 60%. And at 40 miles per hour, it goes down to 20%. 10 miles per hour makes all the difference. You're in the driver's seat. You have the power to save lives.
We are back on a cold evening here in Emmett, where the Huskies are feeling the cold probably a whole lot more than the Russets on the far side of the field, as the visitors have come in here to Emmett and posted an impressive 38-13 win over the Emmett Huskies to advance in the state playoffs. It appears, at least from early scores, they'll be going to, Shelley will be headed to Sandpoint next week, as at halftime, Sandpoint leads Skyview 28-14. Now, that could obviously change. Skyview, a passing team, maybe they can come back, but Sandpoint, much like Shelley, a pound and ground, but the difference in this ball game, quite frankly, as much as they are able to run the option out of the wing tee, they picked up some very valuable passing yardage out of that run option, as quarterback Nate Nelson rolled out time after time, was able to find receivers on the edge or deep in the end zone if he needed to. And Nelson, with quite a ball game here, 3 rushing touchdowns for a total of 4 yards. But,
whoa. 5 yards.
5 yards, excuse me. There's a 1, a 3, and a 1.
So 5
okay,
yards.
There you go. I keep running the short change.
No, give him, hey, quarterbacks don't get to run a lot, so give him his 5, man.
But he did have also a back-breaking pass touchdown that in the second half, when it looked like maybe Emmett was going to come back in it. But also give a ton of credit to the defense of the Shelley Russets tonight. They gave up some yardage to Fullerton, and they gave up a little bit of passing yardage at time, but nowhere near the kind of passing yardage that Emmett's been able to get all season long. And they really shut down that aspect of the ball game. And by ball control on the offense, they get a 3-1 advantage in time of possession, and they took advantage when they needed to get the scores and win this one 38-13. So right now, I guess we've got to choose a player of the game, and my vote would go to Nate.
I think it's Nate. It's got to be Nate Nelson. He had control of the entire game, kind of acted as that commander on the field, especially coming into the fourth quarter, watching that clock, managing the time. As you said, 3 rushing touchdowns as well.
am so sorry. Are you still good?
I'm not sure.
I don't know if we're still here.
Are you still good?
I don't know. We don't have any way to check. We have no way to check to see. We just had a little power outage here, so we're going to go with the idea that we're still on the air and finish this one up because we don't have the way to back it up. And, of course, we'll have this one all saved. If you're wanting to pick up a copy of this game, right on your screen there's the ability to click and buy this game and use that. But our player of the game is Nate Nelson, quarterback for the Shelley Russets, as they will advance, probably playing at Sandpoint next week in the quarterfinals. For the Emmett Huskies, their season ends at 7-3. They had won 7 of their last 8 ball games, but tonight they got on the backside to start this one, or a little bit short, and they were down big, 24-0 at halftime, came out and scored to start the second half. Thought maybe there was momentum, but again, Shelley able to take control with a control offense and take advantage of 2 turnovers that also gave them opportunities to score and re-extend that lead. So the final score here is Shelley 38 and the Emmett Huskies 13. IdahoSports.com has brought to you this ball game on Idaho Sports GameStream, a production for the 2002 Idaho High School Football Playoffs. Tournament coverage on IdahoSports.com is presented by Project Filter, Your Health Idaho, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, and the Idaho Transportation Department. Also brought to you by Valley-Wide Cooperative and your local Toyota dealers. Local sponsors who help make this game possible: River Valley Dental, Adrenaline Performance, Matthews Plumbing, Brulams, and Lava Hot Springs for Shelley, and for the Emmett sponsorships tonight, Mountain West Building Supply, Hannigan Auto Sales, and Gem Supply Building Co-op. We want to thank Athletic Director Ashley Holt for all of her help, and everyone here at Emmett High School for their hospitality, helping us get this game broadcast to you. Again, congratulations to our IdahoSports.com player of the game, presented by Idaho Transportation Department, and that is Nate Nelson, quarterback for the Shelley Russets. Thank you again for joining us here on IdahoSports.com as the Russets defeat the Huskies of Emmett by a score of 38-13. For my broadcast partner, Chandler Gray, everyone else behind the scenes here at IdahoSports.com, I'm Del Gray saying so long, and we'll see you next year for Husky football. And, of course, you Shelley fans, stick with them as Russets are still moving on.
This has been a presentation of IdahoSports.com GameStream.